Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Bussin' with the Boys. It is episode 342 with the one, the only future college football commissioner, Joshua Pate. We go into his life, how he got to where he is at today. We talk about all the things college football. We dive into a few specific teams, and we also talk about the locker room, college football. He will be with us week in and week out during the fall for our gambling show, The Locker Room. It is going to be absolutely incredible. Also, big news, if you're watching this on Tuesday, my redemption pitch after a horrible one in St. Louis takes place tonight in Kansas City. Your boy is going. FanDuel is giving away $10,000 in bonus bets. All you have to do, follow FanDuel, repost, and comment catchable or not catchable. You do those things, you'll be entered in an opportunity to share a pot of $10,000 in bonus bets. This is Bust with the Boys. My name is Taylor Lewan. Let's have a hell of a day. Do me a favor, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, comment, help this algorithm, and go to bwtb.com. If you love the merch, buy the merch, get after the merch, big hugs, tiny kisses. Let's have a hell of a day.
All right, we're good.
Be like, bussin' with the boys, hanging with the fellas, betting on a game. No woman's gonna tell us what to do, and I've been over here just drinking beer and making that noise. Baby, I'm hanging with the fellas, bussin' with the boys.
Bro.
Massive week. Ladies and gentlemen, could be. Catastrophic could be the right word.
Find out at the end.
Catastrophic week for Bussin' with the Boys. Welcome to another episode. It is episode 342. Bussin' with the Boys is presented by the one, the only FanDuel Sportsbook, and America's #1 sportsbook. Football is right around the corner, and while we're excited for the season to start, it's also time to start thinking about how the season will end. That's why FanDuel created a whole new holiday, Futures Day. Futures Day is going down Tuesday, August 26th, and it's about 24 hours of deals on your season-long picks. This is the day you're going to pick who's going to run the division, who is taking home that MVP hardware, and who is hoisting the trophy at the end. For one day only, every single customer gets an instant bonus bet on football future bets, plus FanDuel dropping flash deals every 3 hours. They're going to be absolutely unreal. Trust me, you do not want to sleep on these. So put in your phone, write in your hand, hell, tattoo it on your forehead, whatever you got to do, because August 26th is about to be a legendary day in the futures history. Head to fanduel.com/futures day to learn more. Futures. Always got to be thinking about your futures. We have the football season coming up. And this week, the first episode of our locker room is coming out Thursday?
Wednesday night. College football show. We're separating them very much. There's separation because last year I want to say we combined them for a while.
And then
started
with a
to
little
separate
separation
them at the end. This year we are separating them fully. So we will have a college football show that'll drop on Wednesday nights, and then our NFL locker room show that'll drop on Thursday morning.
And boys, this week we are filming our futures. You guys heard about the big news about Clay Matthews. How's now Jordan Bussin? Let's give him a round of applause. Just an absolute professional as well. Jeremy Klump, who's kind of been aligning all of these things. He has called, texted, sent a pigeon, sent a raven, every which way he possibly can to start preparing for the locker room. That'll be amazing. And as always, joining us will be Delaney Walker.
He's locked in. Delaney locked in. Clay locked in. And do you want to go ahead and announce the special guest that'll be joining us for the college football?
Do we want to wait? Do we want to do it now?
Well, today we were recording on Monday. The announcement is dropping today that the collaboration is happening. So by the time people are listening now,
because they'll see who our guest is.
Yes.
That guest is not just a guest on Bussin' with the Boys. He's also going to be a part of our college football show. The one, the only, possibly the commissioner of the entire college football world eventually, Joshua Pate. So those things coming out this week. We're getting the season started. It's big time. I believe it's Ireland, correct? Week 0, Ireland's going down?
Dublin.
Football is officially back this week. It's going down. It's amazing. And this whole year, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there's going to be a whole slate for you guys that we will do our best, our absolute best to show you the schedule of what is coming out with Bussin' with the Boys. It is going to be an amazing time. But Josh Pate, just a man of the people, got beautiful arms, got a beautiful head. That man has got a beautiful brain as well. He's going to take us to school every single week when it comes to college football. We're going to have a blast.
He's the best college football head in America.
Best college football head in America. And as the best college football head in America, he had some very nice things to say about Nebraska. Did you see that?
I did see that. I didn't know if we wanted to wait until he got on the
That's
bus to
true.
where we could
That's
talk.
true.
And I know we got several things on the docket involving college football. We got the 2018 playoff. We got the Michigan scandal, how that kind of got solved last week. We got people putting Nebraska in their playoff runs. People are starting to find out about Nebraska a little bit.
People are starting to whisper. People are starting to do what Will Compton's been doing for the last 17 years. Talking about Nebraska football. Nebraska football is no longer a team that you're just like, oh yeah, they remember that when they were good in the 90s? Now we're talking about potential candidates for potential playoffs.
Potential's there. It has. If people want to talk about Connor Stallion's manifesto, Willie C's manifesto on Nebraska is starting to come to fruition.
That's right. What does potential mean, Will?
Potential means...
Let me stop you there. Potential means you haven't done shit yet, but you have an opportunity to do something
that
amazing.
The ceiling's high, but you haven't touched the ceiling.
Yeah.
But the ceiling's up there.
Ceiling's there.
You got to do the things that tap into that potential, but we have not done that yet.
Potential is you see where you could go. Now it's your job to build the ladder.
Potential is the capacity to develop, succeed, or become something in the future. Building blocks. Yes.
Matt Rule, all those boys have been building blocks every single day in camp. Will Compton, he hears whispers. I'm sure he talks to Eckler every single day. I walk in on Will to get him a little stretch in our sore next weight room. What's he doing? Listen to Eckler talk about doing a press conference. What's he do after that? Probably calls Eckler. Will Compton knows what's happening in that building all the way about 1,000 miles away in Nashville, Tennessee. The rest of the world will now find out coming August 28th when Cincinnati takes on Nebraska. Cincinnati, home of the New Heights podcast. Nebraska for that week, home of the Bussin' with the Boys podcast. It is going to be an epic start for the Nebraska season. What's the future look like for Nebraska in that first game for you, Will?
An ass whooping.
60 minutes of
the
fuck
world's
you
going to
football.
find out on Thursday night. A week from Thursday, I was getting juiced up about it last night.
Shit, that is kind of wild.
And I expect a good, strong performance. I expect a very strong leg. People have been hearing the whispers, been seeing the interviews with tears of Archie Wilson being homesick, being away from his family, living in Australia. Apparently, he's got an absolute juggernaut of a leg. Can kick it every which way, can bomb it about 70 yards.
Right.
Our punter's going to win his football games this year, and he might be the number one punter in the country.
Might be the number one punter in the country, and it's not just one leg. Kids do legs.
It's both legs.
Dual legs. A dual leg threat.
Dude, I mean, I'm excited. Football season, we all know it. Everybody with their team, everyone's a champion right now. Everyone has a lot to be optimistic about. Well, a lot of teams do. There's some that might be, they might be middle of the road. They might be ready for a middle of the road season.
See, I love that. Ain't nobody ready for a middle road season. Even the teams that haven't had great camps, and if they were to lean back a little bit and actually look at the entire team and probably realize we don't have the talent to compete for a national championship, every Division I football team thinks this is the year they shock the world because of X, Y, and Z.
I don't know.
This is the year.
Hang on. Time out. Does everybody here have high expectations for their team this year?
Yes.
Jack, you do?
I don't what? Of course I do. And you do?
Yeah, I do. We have like one of the easier schedules in all of college football.
And please pull up Tennessee's schedule. We have a very easy schedule as well.
Yeah, they do play in the SEC as well.
They do play in the SEC.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay,
SEC. What? You guys have a lot of depth. You guys have more depth than the Big Ten.
Huh?
The SEC has more depth than the Big Ten.
This is a catastrophic one.
This is a catastrophic 180 for Will Compton.
And so you're saying by saying that the Big Ten
I can be
does
a realist
not,
about it. Like the Big Ten has the Natties live in the Big Ten. Like the top of the top is the Big Ten. But as far as depth goes, SEC has more depth.
If Nebraska pulls their weight,
yeah.
If Nebraska pulls their weight this year, you got Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon,
Leading with Michigan.
Illinois.
USC.
Illinois is a sleeper this year. USC, Indiana was in the playoff last year, and Nebraska, that's 8 teams. That's a good core foundation. Now, the bottom, I don't know about the bottom. Like our Boilermakers, Rutgers always seems to be a little like sneaky every once in a while. Maryland can be a little sneaky, but it's like,
The Gophers.
Gophers are sneaky this year.
Who's at the
I'm
bottom
letting you
of
know
the
right now, the
SEC?
Minnesota Gophers, that's a sneaky bunch of boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mississippi State's kind of trash. But Vandy, they're spicy.
Kentucky's pretty low on the
Right?
But
So you-
Kentucky's always good for some weird upsets.
sure.
Missouri.
Mizzou,
Yeah.
solid.
A lot of question marks around Oklahoma. Like people were real down in Oklahoma. Now recently everyone's like, actually, they might be contenders this year. It's very odd. Very odd. But yeah, best on best. Big Ten takes that. I think that middle class of the Big Ten has gotten stronger in the last couple of years.
I think this year is it's where potential is
Yeah.
there. Hasn't done shit yet, but the middle class in the Big Ten has a big year ahead of them as far as Big Ten becoming an all around.
when you look at
Premier
the quote
dominant
middle
conference.
class, you look at Illinois, you're going to look at Minnesota, Nebraska. Right now, you would put in that, but I see them having a bigger year. But as of right now, they're
middle class.
USC,
yeah.
I think takes another step. I think those 4 teams gives you a nice, healthy middle class in the Big Ten.
Peel's been talking about Michigan State a little bit too.
Ass. I agree, Mitch. I agree.
Listen,
if you guys in here,
I would
if you
assume
Michigan
so,
State
too.
fans in here, Mitch Carsley said Michigan State is ass. I don't disagree with that.
I would
But-
assume so too. I'm just, you got
But-
Iowa, Indiana.
Yeah, a lot of people down on
Washington.
Wisconsin as well. A lot of people are down on Wisconsin.
They
this
have
year.
they have a tough schedule.
They got potential.
They have potential,
Everybody,
but
here's
they
the
got
thing.
a
That's
rough
where that's a
schedule.
great full circle moment. Get us back. Week 0, everyone's got potential. Everyone's out there, and they believe they're going to be Big 10, SEC, Big 12, ACC champions. That's the exciting part of where we sit right now in the middle of August. Everyone's hopes and dreams are alive right now. Now, get to October, we're going to start separating from the pack. We'll see who's who in the zoo when it comes to college football. But right now, as we all sit here, all of our teams are winning it all. And that is the beautiful thing about sports. Juices you up. And I didn't even think my dumb brain and timelines don't really work out together. But really, yeah, a week from Thursday. I didn't even fucking realize.
We will be at Arrowhead
Arrowhead.
watching Cincinnati, Nebraska. Then we will be flying to Columbus
For
for Texas, Ohio State.
Texas, Ohio State.
We'll find out week 1.
Yes. And there's so much of this conversation that needs to take place in the locker room. So much of it does, but it's going to be, it's 30 to 45 minute show. So I get weary of what do we talk about here as opposed to the locker room? Should we bring people to the locker room or should we talk about it right now? It's kind of up to you guys, but the thought process going in my head is who's got more pressure on them? Texas or Ohio State in this week 1 matchup?
I personally think Texas does.
I agree.
I think Texas does because they have an insanely talented roster. Sark, they've been building. I want to say a couple years ago. Was it 2 years ago when they beat Bama earlier in the season? When they just started to kind of like, hey, what's Texas going to be like in the SEC? And that O-line in the trenches, they handled Alabama. And I was kind of like, oh shit, Texas is for real this year. I feel like these last couple of years, the way Texas has been trending and playing in these big moments with Archie Manning at the helm, I feel like they have the most pressure because they are everybody's number 1 going into the season.
I
And
agree.
Ohio State, even though they are defending national champions, you got a new quarterback. They lost a lot of pieces, new running back room. Like, yes, they've reloaded. It's Ohio State. They can reload. They have those capabilities.
Yeah.
But I feel like I think Texas has the most pressure going into it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Arch Manning is a massive reason why Texas has the most pressure on them. This gives the highest rated quarterback of all time. He comes from the bloodlines, all of those things. Now he's finally thrusted into a starting role. He's one of those cats that look at a Heisman already, and he doesn't have like too much film on him. A lot of pressure over there. Texas is always a school that's going to have a microscope on them. They're always going to be like, when is Texas? Since the days of Colt McCoy, every year it's like, is Texas back? Is Texas back? You win a game, the Cotton Bowl a few years ago, and you got people saying, Texas is back. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. We're back. That whole entire thing. Then you start seeing them, they make the playoffs. They get embarrassed by the team that actually wins the national championship, which is Ohio State. Now this week 1 matchup. Ohio State loses everybody in their defense except for 2 guys. One guy, one of them being the safety, who's like one of the best players in all of college football this year. And Ohio State does have an incredible they do a great job of every single year just reloading. They never have really these valleys. It's usually just like their baseline is peaking. And they always have the best wide receiver rooms. Their offenses go crazy. They lose their OC to the Raiders. So there's a lot of question marks going for them. But the pressure doesn't seem like too much pressure because they got their national championship. It's not the Big Ten yet. It's like a nice marker to see where are we at week 1 of college football when you're still kind of working through all the kinks, everything. Because the good teams, Tennessee's a great example of this. You see them, they play their first 4 games of the year, they're always covering. They're playing, the schlums, the whoever's, and they're minus 35 points, and they're always covering over that. That's a sign of a good football team. We'll see with Texas, Ohio State, but I think Texas has more pressure on them to come out of the gates firing quickly.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I just can't wait for this season, man. I cannot wait.
They also, Ohio State also lost their DC to Penn State. However, they reloaded with Matt Patricia, right?
I think so.
You're an Ohio State guy.
Yeah.
I think so.
Matt
Yeah,
Patricia.
I think Matt
on the number 2 pencil. Going crazy on that thing. But yeah, going to be a fun college football season. What else we got in the docket?
I know it's like I want to sit here and talk like, hey,
All
who
of
thinks
them,
will
dude.
win? But we will have Josh Pate on the bus.
Right.
Playoff too. They're talking about.
I know.
Oh, we brought
To
up.
me, it's just let's just embrace all of it. If people want all these goddamn teams in the playoff, just roll them out.
Talking about 28.
Yeah, the 2018
I love
playoff.
it. I love having
I want
it.
to mean something to make it. Yeah, people are just.
I kind of like the March Madness idea of like, hey, you make it to the dance, anything's possible now.
It's way too many names.
I know, but that is it's so many teams.
But
Like,
it's
look,
fun.
if they want to go to 28, I'll be right there embracing it with them. But to JP's point, it's like you do want it. It's like 7 from the SEC, 7 from the Big Ten, 5 from the ACC. Like, what are we doing at that point?
Yeah. I can see where that would get it. The number would get a little high.
Yeah.
I like 16.
I do like 16.
I like 16 quite a bit, and I want championship week right in the playoffs. That's what I want.
I also want. I like 16 because I want to. I would like to remove the bye week factor for the teams that are the best teams.
Is that what happened? You are a brachologist. That's what happened.
Yeah, if you do 16, then you have 8 games all being played. 1 versus 16. When you have 12 or you have 20 or 24, you're gonna have to. You would credit the best teams and give them a bye week.
And
But
you don't
I feel strongly because in the NFL playoffs, people talk about the best teams coming off of their bye week, how they're going to perform. We're talking about 18 to 22-year-olds having a bye week after having some more time off.
Yeah.
Obviously, you slash that time off after championship week and get right into it.
Right into
and
it.
you don't do bye weeks. Like everybody will still have that same momentum that they had versus wondering, have they been studying for finals? How do you practice them?
Right. I like the bye week, but the bye week's scary. I mean, you look at Oregon, they had their bye and they came out a little flat versus Ohio State. You see a lot of these teams grabbing those byes, don't look awesome. But I just, more than anything, I want football to start right after championship week. I want to start right, December, whatever that is, and let that ride all the way Jan 1, Jan 7. That's when the national championship is.
Yeah. We'll talk to the commissioner when he gets on here.
We'll talk to the commish. We'll get his opinion. We'll figure all that out. New Heights.
Yeah, building around Arrowhead, New Heights, our friends.
Our friends for now until Thursday. They had a big guest on their show. They had Taylor Swift on their show. She finally came out. She announces her album. Just an amazing job of rolling that out. And I believe it's 17.9 million views on YouTube since it released last Wednesday.
1.2 million watching it live.
Yeah. 1.2 million people watching live.
Yeah,
So
when
let's
I
just get- hey,
popped on, it was 1.3.
Golf clap for New Heights. Golf clap for New Heights. That's impressive. You gotta tip the cap every once in a while. That is.
Have they grown 1 million subscribers yet? When I popped on before Taylor Swift, when they announced it, the night that they were like, "Oh, we have a huge guest," and it was leaking, they were at like 2.52 million subscribers. Where are they at right now?
3.
Golly, 3 million, 3.05.
So yeah, 1 million.
Every clip that they've dropped, it's like, again, when they did the whole special guest and released Taylor Swift, I like popped on their Instagram. It was like 1 hour after they released it and it had like 700,000 likes already. I mean, catastrophic numbers.
Catastrophic numbers. good opportunity to tell you guys, if you're watching the show, please subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe.
Yeah.
We'd love to hit a milli, right? We'd love to just get to a nice little million piece.
Yeah.
Let everybody else have the multi-millions. We'll take the 1 million.
We'll just keep running the ball.
Just keep running the ball.
Keep running the ball.
Stacking bricks daily.
Yeah.
Stacking bricks.
Yeah. Throw
Right.
the boys a subscribe while you're here.
Every once in a while.
Throw on
man.
Spotify, follow.
Yeah.
Gotta have them show up.
We'll obviously talk about this when Pate gets on the bus, but I do want to just quickly address Michigan football, if that's okay with you.
I would love for it to be with the commissioner here.
Okay, we'll wait for the commission then. We'll just wait. You guys need to look forward to that.
Actual ruling.
Yeah. Get the actual.
We'll get some actual breakdown.
UFC 319. Yes, Mitch.
You want to rip an ad?
Do you want to rip an ad? You want to rip an ad? Yeah. Let's talk about Liquid IV for a second, boys. When we're traveling a lot this year, we talk about going to Kansas City, then we're going to Columbus, all those things. What do you need? You need to hydrate. You need electrolytes, and that's why we use Liquid IV. Just one stick of 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. Liquid IV has 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink. It has 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. Savor the last bits of summer, boys, with Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code BUSSIN at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code BUSSIN, BUSSIN, at liquidiv.com. UFC 319. Boys hit. We finally got it right. That's big. We needed that. I get a text.
Did you see the parlay?
I saw the parlay. Did you see my comment under your parlay? Because then you would have known I saw your parlay. That was incredible. That was that plus 529?
Yeah. Lost the first one out of the gate, first leg.
Oh,
Got shook.
Oh.
Dead immediately.
what'd you do?
Got back in the fight.
Got back in the
ring. 4-legger. And credit to, obviously, Clay Matthews. Somebody, before the fight started, hey, who you liking? What are you feeling?
Right.
What's the parlay?
Who's got
How we
it?
swinging?
Yeah.
And he gave me that 5-legger. We died right away, but we got back in it. And look, we turned it around, came out on top. Kamzat, dude. Kamzat, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call
That
him.
motherfucker
Dog.
is insane.
I love it.
Did you watch the fight?
No. I fell asleep. So I was kind of just hoping for you to kind of rip for a little bit.
Yeah, so Kamzat comes out. Is that how you say it, or is it Hamzat?
I think it's Hamzat.
Hamzat and Drickus.
Yeah, Drickus Duplessis, right?
There were comments in the YouTube that people were making fun of how we're pronouncing the names.
They were on my ass for saying Driscus, which I understand. But, buddy, this fucking performance by Hamzat, like stink on shit, bro. I'm saying the dude is smiling right when Bruce Buffer does his thing. They get to the middle. Hamzat's like ready to go, and so is Drickus. He's ready to go defend his belt again. Hell of a fighter. Drickus is a stud, and Hamzat is sitting on the other side, and they're both kind of crouched down. And Hamzat's just smiling, knowing that he's gonna run through this cat. And every round, because it went all 5 within 30 seconds. And I'm saying 30 seconds because in round 4, it took Hamzat 30 seconds. But within like 15 seconds, every round, Hamzat's got this motherfucker on the ground.
Punishing him.
Just going after him. I'm just smothering him, dominating him, doing whatever he wanted to him. Was trying to progress. And he crucified this man like 5 times. Do you know what a crucifix is?
Yeah. That's what Jesus died on.
Yeah, that's what Jesus died on. But he's got Drickus where he's like laid out over his body. He's controlling one arm and landing shots with his left hand, and his other arm is between Hamzat's legs, so where he's got him crucified out on the map. He did that to him 4 or 5 times. Did you watch it, JP? You were that's where you had the wedding. Did anybody else watch this fight?
Anniversary.
Fuck.
It's okay. Keep going. Don't let that derail you that you forgot.
Well, it's just it's like I want it's like I want to play off somebody in here to just how dominating of a performance this was. A lot of people thought the fight was boring. To those minds that want excitement and want action the whole time, I can understand why it was boring. Because again, Hamzat's taking him down every round and just smothering this guy. Mm-hmm. But it's all like JP knows what I'm talking about. What positioning in MMA is everything. And Dricus is a hell of a fighter. So a lot of the times Hamzat's smothering him and not giving him a lot of space. And Dricus is doing a good job of staying close to him because he knows he's in fucking trouble with this motherfucker.
Yeah.
So I can see where it's boring, but the wrestling clinic and masterclass that Hamzat put on is insane to me. It's when people talk about wrestlers coming in and being able to dominate a match, but usually the skill level has gotten so good in the UFC to where wrestling is not the end all be all. Like everybody's got skill set, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Taekwondo, fucking all the different mixed martial arts. And they got black belts and everything. And so these guys are able to, their takedown defense is really good to where they can either keep them on their feet or they're very good on the ground. This dude Hamzat is like, it's like back to when MMA was starting to blow up and wrestlers were dominating it. Hamzat is like, it's like swinging that way in his weight class with this individual because he is so fucking good at wrestling. I'm saying every time after the third round, Dricus is sitting over there in his corner. And I'm just like, at this point, what do you even say to this man? Other than, I don't know what to fucking do.
Right.
Like the dude's gonna say fight, and then he's gonna come out. He's taking my ass down no matter what I do. And Dricus is like trying to keep his distance and trying to find his shots, but he gets one flinch and boom, double. He's on his ass again, and he's so strong. He gets him there. Look at that photo.
It's crazy.
And like he's so good and strong that he truly couldn't do anything.
I mean, if you're this guy, you got to post that just for the meat pick. Like that's a nice bulge you always got on there. But he's just getting tossed around the yard the whole time.
The whole time. How many takedowns were attempted? I want to say there was one that Dricus fought off one time, but Hamzat, white on rice, got on his ass again.
Just a gnat.
Yes.
Constantly going at him 24/7.
And so strong to where Hamzat's extended on the double leg and he's got a fighting chance to scramble and get out of it and make it interesting. But again, the strength of this motherfucker is crazy.
This post has control time was 21 minutes, 40 seconds, 12 takedowns, 529 strikes.
Well, say the control time again.
21 minutes, 40 seconds.
Almost 22 minutes of control time out of the 25 that they fought.
That's fucking wild.
Like of him just being on top of him. And again, it's like you wanted to see him. He got him full mounted once. But Dricus, again, he's the fucking defending champion. He's defended his belt. He's a great fighter. Hamzat mounted him and Dricus got out of it. He was getting out of situations where it was getting dangerous for him. Mm-hmm. But as far as like getting out of the control of this psychotic. Yeah. Dagestanian. I don't fucking know, dude.
Dude, the Dagestani guys are just different fucking
Sounds
cats.
like him and Bo Nickel need to have a good old fashioned wrestling match.
And Hamzat, I think, will control this man.
Anybody.
Again, it's like when there's a good wrestler in fighting has gotten so good to where takedown defense is a lot better. You're standing on your feet. The wrestler's got to learn how to strike. The guys who are not wrestlers, they're very good on the ground, or they might have, they might be very comfortable on their back. This dude is different.
It's Dagestan, dude.
And people are talking about like, oh, he just laid on him. Like Hamzat the entire time is trying to work for better positioning. Like, trap his knee down on his elbow to try to reposition and get maybe in a better mount position, get him into a better, like, what is it called when they're on the side? Not the side guard, but a side mount. Side mount, the whole crucifix thing. It's like DC, Daniel Cormier was doing a great job of basically the entire time trying to educate everybody on like, okay, here's how you can have a better crucifix, having his knee right above his elbow, because the whole time he was crucifixing him, he had it in between his legs. So he couldn't get that positioning to where, since he's got it between his legs, he's just got these little shots where he's just pointing them. And that's where it's boring because Hamzat wasn't able to like keep his elbow on the ground because Dricus, obviously a hell of a fighter, wasn't allowing him to. But if he was able to pin his elbow on the ground, he's able to drop bows. He's able to land shots on him.
Yeah. More catastrophic shots.
Yeah, stuff that people would like to see. Yeah, more catastrophic. More catastrophe in this fight.
Catastrophe everywhere. Yeah.
But it was like, I was just in awe watching the entire fight, watching how dominating of a performance this was from somebody who wasn't the champion going for the belt and was just having his way doing whatever he wanted with Dricus.
Jesus Christ.
So he's going to be a champ for a while.
I think so.
He just has to. The only problem with him going into it was like his health. It seemed like because he got sick, he had to like retire for a little bit. Some of the weight cuts are giving him issues. So if he can dial that in, sounds like there might
He's not going anywhere for a
There might not
while.
be another human being that
Bro,
can beat him.
JP, when we get off the bus, you need to go drop on YouTube and just watch that fight. Like
Were you trying to give examples? I see you got the bruise on your knee.
that's your boy was tubing over the weekend.
Oh,
A
tubing.
couple inches. I almost tore my goddamn labrum.
Tubing too.
You forget what tubing can do to your body. Like when you get extended like this and you're trying to like hang on and
Yeah.
not fall off, I fucking almost lost my entire arm.
You've had that whole thing stitched up, haven't you?
Yeah, 12
Right?
anchors all the way around.
12 anchors.
If you guys know
everywhere.
what a clock looks like, 12 to 12. That's how much damage was in my shoulder. Got it fixed back in college. But I was
Still played
almost
almost 10 years.
Yeah, I was a decent little psychopath on the tube growing up.
Yeah, I think the
I'm
tube.
talking barrel rolls.
The tube is like boys to men.
Yeah.
Like how willing are you if you're willing to put the thumb up for the extra speed on the tube?
Yeah.
If you're willing to keep that thumb up, buddy.
Like slide me to the side of the
Yeah.
boat.
'Cause
Let
you
me
see-
hit a wave.
And also tubes have hit a new level of science. The way these things, you see the ones that get airborne now, they have like a little, if you get a boat
like
going
a
fast
little
enough, and
fender
it'll
in the
actually,
front.
there's ones that'll go like 10 feet in the air and you're like a damn kite. So boats and tubes have gotten better. Boats and tubes are now crushing.
And this was a little more difficult. Mitch can speak to it too. This one it was a donut tube. So it was like
So
a
this
bigger
was a little
tube,
more
and
difficult.
it had the circle cut in the middle. It seems like you had that was a flat tube, yeah,
Yeah,
with the wings. That's a fun one right there.
yeah. Me and my buddy Gabe got launched, but we need to go. The boys need to get on a boat and go tubing.
Go tubing. Gotta get tubing.
It is
OG doesn't
so
like the
much
idea of
fun.
tubing.
Oh, I'm not trying to die.
See, I'm trying to get
It
fucked
is
up a little
physical
bit.
Trying to get
out there,
tossed,
bro.
bro.
Like I got off the tube and I was just reminded of like, yeah, this isn't.
Who's driving the boat when you're
I'm
tubing?
not young again. We use this cat. Shout out Seth. But there's an app called like Get My Boat or something like
Okay.
that.
Boat or something like that. That's what our
Yeah, to where you can, you just pop on there, you find a boat that you want. You have not the pilot, the captain. And he had all the bells and whistles. He had a little wakeboard for surfing. He had the tube. He had skis if you wanted a water ski.
No
He
shit.
had all of it. We just ripped around for like, I think it was 4 hours.
Did you go on Old Hickory?
I think so. you know what it is.
Will
you know
just
how,
puts it in the GPS, man, and just shows
Yeah.
up.
you know how it
Shows
is.
up ready to party.
Were there really
When
nice
you're married,
houses?
you
on-
just do what you're told, man. Hey,
No
we're showing
doubt.
up.
Ain't
Where
no
we going
doubt.
today?
Preach, kid, preach.
Where are we going today? Put it in the maps.
Yeah,
I'll
in
drive
the
us there.
maps. Just blind driving, man. Just out there ripping around. When you're tubing, who's the captain of your ship?
Seth.
Oh, Seth. So Seth's the guy. He just goes, "I'm your captain
he
today."
shows up. He had a beautiful, beautiful truck. I complimented him on the truck, platinum,
Mm.
and he had this little boat, this speedboat, whatever the hell kind of boat it is, and he just took us out on the water for like 4 hours.
I would love to get a Bussin with the boys tubing, but the thought of like I picture you and me on the tube, and then these boys behind the helm. We're not living. We're not gonna make it out.
Well, yeah, you fall.
We'll
you
start
fall-
hitting him with the
you
thumbs
fall
down.
off
Like,
the
hey, you
gun.
gotta slow down, and then you feel it going up a little bit. What'd you say? Jack's over
Yeah,
there laughing his
yeah,
ass
yeah.
off. His phone. We're just moving around, getting tossed.
Nah, in reality, I think I'm probably the only one who's legally allowed to drive this boat. Because in Tennessee, after 1998, you have to have a boater's license.
Really?
And I have one, but I would fuck your shit up. for
Yeah,
sure.
that's what I'm saying.
But
And I
that's
promise
just
you,
for
I
that's
would fuck-
generational because that's how dads do. That's how my
Yeah,
dad did it. It's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
if you're not throwing guys around, then it's like, well, what are we doing?
That's a
out here?
Southern boys bar
You
mitzvah.
cruise for
Is
a
getting
little
tubed.
bit, and you're like,
Getting
okay,
tubed.
they got a decent handle. Let's crank it
Yeah.
up on them.
I will say though,
They're feeling a little too confident back
yeah,
there.
Right.
if you tube after the age of like, let's say like 23, 24, you realize how sore your body gets.
Yeah,
God
bro.
bless.
It's not
No
even-
shit.
Same.
I ain't tubed in a minute.
It's fun too.
Gotta tube.
That grip strength too.
Yeah, that
Crazy,
your
man.
palms will be in shambles for the next few
Hands
days.
are all cut up.
Yeah, my buddy, he had a boat. What is this? Oh, I thought that was Mitch.
you.
My buddy had a boat, and it was like one of those tubes, but it had like a back to it, like a couch. So me and like two of my buddies would sit there and kind of, it was kind of just nice. But then the dad would kind of be like, they've been on this for too long.
Yeah.
And would just rip us
Too
around,
good.
dude. R.I.P. PJ, man. He would fuck us up on that tube.
Is he dead?
Yeah, he died. That's why I
Rest
said
in
R.I.P.,
peace.
man.
Catastrophic.
I think that's it. Yeah, except ours was blue. Ours was blue.
Those ones get launched, and I haven't been on one of those, but I feel like you'd feel vulnerable hitting the turn.
Just sitting up, getting moved around. God.
I told Seth too before. He's like, "You feel pretty confident tubing?" I said, "I used to dabble back in the day. Go ahead, you can rip it up a little bit." He kind of got me off on the first big turn, and he drove back over. I was like, "All right, yeah, I've lost a step."
Were you going by yourself?
Tubing?
Yeah. Or you weren't going tandem?
No, I like it's Charo, it's her family. Like, what am I gonna do? Yeah, Rue. Charo tubed with Rue, but again, it was like we had like a donut tube. So I felt a little too big, like Rue being like below me. I just didn't feel comfortable, like trying to maneuver my own body around her.
Is this the kind of tube you had?
Yeah. Which is tough because it's like, yeah, like you can hit the side a little bit, but when you're on the straightaway, you know how you like to just kind of like lay on your stomach to let your arm strength like regain its rest, like give your grip a little rest. And when you have the hole cut out in the middle, it's kind of just hard to get comfortable. Then when you're climbing up, it's like you got to balance on that tube part versus just being on a flat tube. You can just get up on your knees.
Now you're engaging core. Like, how do you get some rest?
Yeah.
How do you get some rest? That looks fun.
That looks sick.
Yeah. That'll fuck us up.
But that's a squad one.
That's like the thing. You know the thing at the park as a kid where it was like the big circle and you'd sit in it and then you'd spin the middle of the wheel and then kids the velocity would just take the kids out one by one.
Is that a merry-go-round?
No.
Not a merry-go-round, but it's like
it's like this. It's like a blue thing and it has seats. Yeah. And then there's a pole in the middle with like a disc, and you rotate the disc, and it rotates all the kids. And everyone's like, who could hold on the longest? Yeah. And then it always goes so fast that the smallest kid, he just gets sacrificed like a lamb. Like he just shoots out 5-6 feet.
We'd be doing that with just a regular, saucer one where it's just got the rail in there, and you just got to hold on to the rail, and somebody's just psychotically spinning you, and you're just like hanging on to the rail.
Yeah. You seen the ones where they tail they get like a quad and they get like a string and tie it to it. Yes. And then they just take off and you see and people just get ripped out of there. That shit's too much. Do we have, we got big news. I got redemption coming. If you're watching this on Tuesday, today, Kansas City, I'm throwing out the first pitch to Will Compton. Big redemption. Our fans at FanDuel, they are giving away $10,000 in bonus bets. $10,000 in bonus bets, truly on if I have a catchable or not catchable throw, which is hilarious and disrespectful all at the same time. Because a lot of people will be like striker ball. We can kind of assume it's going to be a ball. It's really how much does Will have to move his body with that tight back to catch the ball that I throw?
Do we know that for sure?
I believe, yes. I can't ever say for sure. No guarantees.
We have to figure out the rules.
My understanding is it's catchable or not catchable. But yes,
they're giving away $10,000 in bonus bets. So you pick the boy who throws a catchable ball or not?
I'm gonna tell you right now. Go ahead and bet catchable. I've been putting in some work. I've been getting after it. It seems like every damn day. I bug you every single day when we're in the office. Let's go get a game of catching. Even when Will's in the middle of working, he's doing some before the dad stuff. He's got his notepad out. He's playing on his iPad, and I'm like, hey, I need you to come out and get this with me real quick. So we're putting in the work. We've done some meditating. We've done some visualization. I think this week what literally happens tomorrow. But maybe tomorrow before we go get on a diamond real quick. You know what? Fuck it. We're not doing that. I'm going in. I'm raw dogging this
Grip and rip, bro.
Grip and rip. It's time.
Yeah.
Hayes in the barn. Get a couple good ones this afternoon. 5 to 10 throws. Just feel it. Just feel it. Put it in there. And let's make a catchable ball.
The hay's not in the barn until you get out there.
The work is when you go to play a football game, you still got to play the game, but the hay's in the barn.
The hay's not
as far as the
fully in the
preparation
barn.
goes, Will. What are you talking
But the
about?
preparation, again, it's like we got to get there early so you can feel the stadium. Right. There's still some work to be done
no
before
doubt.
you get out there.
Yeah, but when I go home, am I out there playing with my kids right now? No, I'm icing my shoulder. I'm sitting crisscross applesauce in the corner of a house. I got meditation music going. I'm doing deep breaths. That's what's happening when I'm at home.
Right.
My kids know Daddy's got to make things right.
Yes.
I've dishonored their name, and it's time to make it right. $10,000 bonus bets. We will have more details on that. Follow us on socials. Bussin WTB, Taylor Lewan 77 _ W Compton 51. Is that it?
No, _ Will Compton.
_
All
Will
socials.
Compton, all socials. So that's what we got going on. That's what we got going on.
Delaney will be with us.
Delaney's coming. Gotta have Delaney,
Gotta
man.
have
Get out there empty stadiums.
Yeah, which also I played catch with Delaney last week, and I think he'd have trouble on the mound. And just catching in general. Him holding the glove in his hand just seemed like very unnatural for him.
He was looking awkward out there.
He was looking a little awkward out there. And that's coming from me. That's coming from me. In the light of baseball, we have baseball jerseys. BWTB.com. Go find those there. It says Tier 1 on the back. If you've watched any of the socials of me throwing the ball, you see me wearing that jersey. Feel good, look good, play good. That's what we got going there. BWTB.com. Go
Also
ahead
on
and check that out.
BWTB, the live show. Again, we will be in Lincoln, Nebraska, September 19th, doing a live show before the big game, Michigan, Nebraska, on September 20th. But you can get those tickets at BWTB.com. It'll be at the Rococo Theater in Lincoln, Nebraska on Friday night.
Yeah.
Special guests, food, drinks, fun, banter, getting the juices flowing before
Giveaways.
the trophy game, the Bussin Bowl.
God. A lot going on, man. A lot going on.
Catastrophic.
There's so much more I want to talk about, but I feel like we should wait.
I know the college football, the football stuff. It's just knowing that football's back just has us all so excited.
Juiced up.
It's starting to. You start to feel it, like when you're driving to work,
Right.
when you're consuming your content. Football is truly. There's games getting played this weekend. Yeah.
Games getting paid this weekend. NFL, James Cook, he's holding out a little bit with the Bills. He just got paid $48 million. He's lock, stock, 2 smoking barrels for the Bills to make that final push, get over the hump. Trey Hendrickson right now with the Bengals. He's saying, I don't want to play for y'all anymore. You got to pay me. I'm looking at Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt. I want that type of money. Their first round pick goes from his holdout. He almost went back to A&M. What's going to happen with the Bengals? Because their defense wasn't great last year, but their offense was amazing. Dude, it's an exciting time of year. Exciting time of year.
I saw
right
that
now.
Trey Hendrickson's on the trading block.
That's what we were just. Yeah, there's a lot of teams. Yeah, there's a lot of teams out there that. So, Will brought up a good point. Trey Hendrickson, he's very upset. He wants to get paid. He looks at Max Crosby, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett. He's like, I want to get paid that much. The first round pick, he was at A&M thinking about going back to college, but now he's back in. So they think, is this a viable option to get rid of Trey Hendrickson? But now Trey Hendrickson, you got the Cowboys calling, you got the Titans calling, you got the Raiders calling, you got a whole bunch of teams calling, saying we want this salty white cat on our team.
Did you
hear about Trey Hendrickson?
No. I think we should give a shout out. Did you hear that or see James Cook got a bag?
James Cook, 4 years, $48 million. The Bills, they're looking to take the next step, get over the hump of the Super Bowl. Lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels. Those guys were ready to go out there. Catastrophic intro. Quinston Judkins, what's going on with him? He's expected to return. Prosecutors drop. Quinshawn Judkins. Prosecutors drop charges. Bink, he's ready to go. He's got no criminal liability going on. Isaiah Bond, he just signed with the Browns. They got is Judkins also on the Browns?
Yeah.
So prosecutors drop him. Isaiah Bond, he's also at the Browns. And meanwhile, Deshaun Watson sitting in the background of the Browns. They're just like, hey, 80s Raiders, let's be them. Let's fucking be them out here. They're doing their thing.
What'd you think of Dylan Gabriel's comment?
There's entertainers and competitors, man. He knows which one he is.
Yeah.
I like it. It's like, is that a shot? Or is he basically just talking about being a competitor?
I don't think it had anything to do with Shadur.
Same.
I know.
I think it was about the media.
When you see the quote, you think Shadur, but then you watch him talking, and you're like, oh, he's just talking about the world and like what he knows what his role is and he knows what he has to do.
Right, because she was asking about how do you handle like all the media pressure, whatever it is, and I think he was saying, yeah, the media are trying to entertain people and we're like actually playing the game.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with Shadur.
Yeah.
You know how the internet is, man.
I know.
Yeah.
Dude,
the Browns are a fun team to watch this year.
They got a great lawyer.
They do, man. They really do. Yeah. Yeah, Shadur out there, he's doing his thing. He's kind of silencing the haters a little bit, even if he doesn't start at the beginning of the year. It's probably going to be Joe Flacco's job. Myles Garrett's out there just walking. Johnny Gray's letting his piece flap in the wind.
Spencer Rattler leading the Saints to game-winning drives.
Kellen Moore sitting there with Kay Adams a couple of days ago, still not willing to say who his starting quarterback is. So there's a lot going on. NFC South is an oddball world. I feel like it's a Falcons division this year.
I disagree. I think it's Bucks.
Oh, good point. Strong point.
I think it's Bucks.
Penix takes a step. I could see the Penix taking a step.
I can see
here.
Penix taking a step, but I just think like the Bucks are the team to beat in the South. Like I think the Bucks would be really good in the AFC in general. Just as a
especially
whole.
if they ever went to the AFC.
Yeah, they would probably crush.
Did I say AFC or NFC?
Yeah.
You were talking about Trey Hendrickson.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean-
Trey Hendrickson. He wants to go.
He's in the AFC.
He's in there.
Did y'all see all local Atlanta news? Did Penix so dirty?
Oh, Michael
my
Penis
God,
Jr.
yeah.
That was so
Crazy they would copy that joke.
Crazy troll.
yeah.
It has been in headlines. Dick jokes have been the big headlines in the past week.
It's true.
So, shout out Atlanta getting in on that.
So are UFC guys.
What UFC guys up to?
Gooning.
Just people saw us on UFC. Now they try to get the camera.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a copycat league, man.
Yeah.
It's a copycat league.
JP had a dick joke on Twitter.
Oh yeah, the cloud.
Yeah.
And I love, dude. The first comment was so pure. They were like, "This reminds me of that Nerf football." I'm like, "Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
exactly." That was insane.
Nice looking piece. In the
Massive.
clouds. Yeah.
God, I wish
Tell me about the
I wish I
beach,
saw
man.
this cloud piece. I wish I saw it.
He put a date on it. You'll be
Yeah, I put a date on it.
All right, cool.
That's good. That's good.
Cool.
Should there'll be another one
It
dropping.
was Hope's anniversary yesterday.
Yeah, congratulations, man.
Dude, somebody sent me a video of the.
65.
Thank you. Somebody sent me a video of the relay, of like a longer video of the pool relay, which I hadn't seen before. Unreleased footage.
Oh,
Wow.
really?
Luckily,
Director's cut.
luckily for you, they started it after that first leg.
Okay, buddy.
Actually, you might still be in the water. I think I might be out.
Will's the one that took the video.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was fun. We were down in Florida. And it was the sunsets out there, dude. We're 3 for 3. It was
that your drone?
yeah. The birds flying across. You cannot. I mean, it truly left us both speechless because you see it a little bit on your screen when you're filming it, but then when you go back and actually look at the footage, you're like, we're never gonna be able to top this.
God damn, that scared the shit out of
1 year goes by fast.
Goes by fast, man.
me. That was-
It's crazy.
Thank you.
It's crazy how fast that whole thing goes. It's wild that just a year ago you guys were doing a pool party and I was driving 10 hours to a wedding to spend 4 hours. And now look at us, huh?
All for nothing too, just because you got back and they got delayed.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy.
We need to take it out on
Our boy
them.
just got here.
Yeah. Did he?
I think so.
You think what?
I think our boy just got here.
8 minutes early.
Pate State?
He should just enter right now.
Let him come in, man.
Let's just get him on the bus.
I think he's probably listening to his tunes in the car.
Big news.
He's probably
Big, not for the public right now,
Okay.
but we have a massive guest locked in for this Thursday. Locked in for this Thursday, and they will be coming out the following week. Give you a hint. And it's not what you think.
The king.
No.
Josh Pate's probably out there rocked up right now because he
Joe Milton. Yes.
uses Rose Sparks.
Oh!
Rose Sparks, 2-in-1 prescription treatment for guys who need a secret weapon against softness. Rose Sparks can give guys bigger, thicker, longer erections because they get fuller faster. And after Rose Sparks dissolve, they work in 15 minutes on average. And if prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off their first order of Rose Sparks on a recurring plan. Connect with the provider at ro.co/bussin to find out if prescription Rose Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/bussin for $15 off your first order.
Before we get Pate on the bus, he's just walked on or just got to the shop. We did have a small get together at my house on Friday. JP was waiting to find out who won. We had to let you know that information. We played the game T yet again. Let's give a round of applause for Mitch Carsley, handling business,
Nice.
taking
Mitch.
me out of
Congrats.
the championship.
Was it y'all two versus each other?
It was us
Congrats,
two versus
Mitch.
First one, Mitch grabbed, no problem. Second one, Mitch was doing the thing where he jumps real high in the air. So he did. I just hit him right in the hip.
He was trying to end on a highlight.
Yeah, he tried to dunk on me, really.
Yeah.
So I got his hip. He went a crazy distance, and I went and got that thing. And then the third one was very anticlimactic. He saw it. He hunted it down like a heat-seeking missile and took
played,
home the
Will?
championship.
Yeah, I played.
Yeah.
It
like
was
it?
fun. Oh, yeah, it was awesome.
Blast.
Yeah, it might be a top. It might be the top pool game. I mean, without
without
a
really
whole
putting.
lot of thought into it, it's like, when's the last time as an adult you had that much fun playing a pool game? Obviously, pool basketball, pool volleyball, like those are tough to beat. But just
I feel like
I love that drain game.
what's a drain game?
splash ball.
Yeah,
Gutter ball?
Throw the ball. Yeah, gutter ball.
You are right about that.
What's gutter? Hold on, fill me in a little bit. What's gutter ball?
So what I was gonna say is all around, I think T is the best water game because you can kind of make that happen in whatever kind of pool you're in. Some of these games are circumstantial, which gutter ball, if you have a pool, you got a big enough pool, usually it's at a public pool, but they got, you know how they got the gutters on the side, and you take a splash ball and it's like 2-on-2, you kind of figure out how wide you can go, but you're trying to skip it into the gutter.
Oh, that's dope.
So it's just offense, defense. You're trying to make sick diving catches, trying to skip it,
Fun
get the
times.
sidearm going.
Yeah.
Gutter ball is a blast, bro.
We got to get that dialed in.
What you got, Clump?
I have someone to present to you guys on the bus.
Present?
A very special guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Pate! Good to see you,
The
sir.
future commissioner of college football, Josh Pate, is on the bus.
Some people say he is college football.
Yeah, do me
Some people say he is college football.
open that for me, please.
I got you.
What you got there, dude? Tart cherry
Well-
juice?
Honestly, that's just Mio caffeinated water.
Okay.
It's really what you drink it out of. That's probably the bigger deal.
Mm.
I've never let anyone else unbox one of these things.
What's it say?
You shouldn't have. Pate State Chalice of Supremacy.
That's the same stuff they make the crystal football out of. That's not true. But that looks like the same stuff they make the crystal football
It does. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So what does this mean? What does this mean for us? Are we part of like the Pate Illuminati?
Honestly, you determine what it means for you. I hand out about 15, 20 of those a year, mostly to family and friends. So we're going to go backwards on this. So, look, ball's in your court now. My balls are in your court. You kind of
Oh, so
define.
you gave us a gift.
You kind of
expecting to get
defined.
something in return.
Not necessarily today, but yeah. I mean, I don't just give gifts and not expect something
Yeah,
back.
yeah. You never do something for somebody just out of the
No.
kindness of your heart.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
Charity is one of the best businesses to be in. I think we
Yeah.
all know that. It's very profitable.
And I will say, we knew you'd probably bring a gift, so we brought you something as well.
Okay.
You want to see it now?
Yeah, because I think it'll determine the mood the rest of the day.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
Absolutely. This
Thanks.
episode, this interview is brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light is always brewed with 4 simple ingredients for a clean, crisp taste. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL Draft, Tight End U, and Shane Gillis' 2025 tour. Bud Light partners include Peyton Manning, George Kittle, Taylor Lewan, Baker Mayfield, Will Compton, Emmitt Smith, Shane Gillis, Post Malone, Dustin Poirier. Stock up on Bud Light now. Head to www.budlight.com/locator to find a store near you. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. I'm actually going to need that back in a little bit. Dude, did it really? Yeah. No way.
We're on the bus, bro.
That's really tough to do.
How
Yeah,
do you-
we are.
Your arms look incredible.
Thank you.
It seems like you have a great V going on as well.
It's tough to accomplish. You know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I haven't accomplished it.
The
You
pump.
seem like you've got it.
The pump, if you have free time on your hands and you just shop at GNC regularly enough, that's not hard. The V is tough. In your 20s, it's not so tough. Google says I'm 55. I'm not 55 years old. They've got me mixed up with that other Josh Pate.
Yeah.
But I'm not 25 either. So the V it's a challenge.
Are you willing to tell us how old you actually are?
I'm in my 30s.
Okay.
Are we talking?
Oh, I like this
mid-30s?
game.
We're talking 39 for the next 6 months. But
Oh, let's go.
Like
You're
we're
about
in
to
our
be 40?
we're in our
40 yet.
30s. Yeah.
Not 40 yet. Dude,
You look good.
I appreciate
You look
it.
good for 40.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we got a little free time in the middle of the day. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
You got to work at 5 a.m. and 10 p.m. Keep the middle of the day free.
yeah.
That's when the gym's empty. That's when the sun's out. That's how to prolong your life like 10 to 15 years.
Take
What-
it in, box it up, put a bow on
What
it.
does, for people that see the Pate State machine happening, what does a daily cadence look like for you on prepping for your shows? Because you rock live. How many times a week? 3?
3 times a week, yeah.
3 times a week, you rock live.
Got
You're
the voice
traveling
for it,
all the
too.
time. You're also a married man. Like, what does a daily routine look like for Josh Pate when you're firing on all cylinders?
So we're doing, so it's usually 5A, wake up. There's any kind of programming, any kind of, like, I like to watch a previous night show and grade it on a rubric, kind of like you would grade film. The day after you played a football game, we got like a rubric where we kind of grade performance on air. Then there's the engagement stuff. Then you do a whole lot of media in the morning. You'll do meetings in the morning. We will do show prep, part 1 production meeting. Then we'll go to the gym. We'll get to the office for basically hardcore show prep from 3 Central until show airs. Show airs at 7 Central. Post prod, that'll probably end 9:30. Go home 10:30 to 11's when you're trying to finish calls that you tried to make throughout the day, and hopefully in bed by 11.
Up at what time? 5?
5.
He's
Which
a
is
machine.
which is
A
hard.
machine.
Did you ever did either one of you ever get conditioned to pre-workout? Get conditioned like morning workout?
Oh,
You-
yeah.
You did
Yeah.
it. Did you ever get to where you said this is not a problem for me? Because I never did.
Like, what do you mean? This is not a problem. For
I
you?
always
Waking up and
feel
working out in
sick.
the morning?
I feel sick if I have to work out at 5:00 in the morning. I've done it like for years playing sports. I did it, but I never got into a sweet spot with it. And so it surprises me that I'm able to like normally wake up like my dad used to do. I used to think my dad was a psychopath because he woke up at 4:45 every morning on his own. And now I'm like that. But I never thought I would be a morning person. I was always stay up until 2 a.m., sleep until 9. And now it's totally inverted, which is good because you get the most work done in the morning.
I feel like I've had to teach myself to get used to working out like in the afternoon or in the evening if I can't get it done in the morning. Because I feel like if I don't get my workout done in the morning, I'm just behind on everything. And I'll have a little bit more anxiety. So I would rather, if I have to wake up earlier, like do whatever I have to in the morning before I get the day going.
Well, your gym's 45 feet away now too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fair point.
If that. The thing, the morning workout to me, I am now training myself that we have the Sore Next gym at our shop. It's like, all right, get the stuff done, do your little routine in the morning. And then once you get the bulk of your stuff done, take the 45 to an hour and get the workout in then. But I'm very much like, wake up in the morning, have your disciplines or whatever you want to get done, and then start your day. And
Yep.
it makes you feel good. But if you're waking up at 5 every single morning, I find myself Wednesday or Thursday finding that lull, finding that drag, because I don't find a lot of times for naps.
That's where the season matters.
Yeah.
Because in April, there's no light at the tunnel at the end of the week.
Right.
I mean, unless you're going on vacation or something. That's why this time of year, like, so we're sitting here talking, week 0 starts this weekend. Then next weekend, everyone will be playing.
Mhm.
And I call that season protocol. So someone out there's watching this or listening to this and their Wednesday's going to suck. And if your Wednesday sucks in March, your Wednesday just sucks in March. If your Wednesday sucks in October, no matter how bad it gets today, I got Michigan kicking off. I got Nebraska kicking off in like 72 hours or 96 hours.
Yeah.
That's where that whole key, it gets put in the ignition and it gets turned. Like, how do you have a bad day in the fall?
Yeah, man.
Fucking
I love
gas
that.
with that. It's true.
Yeah.
There's always something to look forward to every single week. The hopes and dreams we were talking about in the intro. It's like, what do you like? Every week there's something to look forward to.
That's where people, so casual fans who watch football, if it's on at a bar or if they're at a buddy's house, they don't get that. But see, they'll make fun of people who are diehard sports fans. And I always I'm in on the joke with them because the joke is on them. Because you don't have this thing in your life that for 6 months out of the year makes everything that's bad during the week right, because you have it to look forward to. What are you looking forward to?
Right.
If you don't have this in your life, I've got God in my life, I got family in my life, and then I got college football 6 months out of the year in my life. Even if you have the first two, what's filling the third void?
Yeah,
There
yeah.
are 3 great voids in life. I'm making this up like some kind of monk said this at one point.
Yeah,
He
you
didn't.
sound like a modern day philosopher
But
right now.
still.
Yeah. Look at Will. Will
What
just
do
sat
you
up with
have?
me.
Yeah, you're juicing me up because you're right. It's like God selfless, family selfless, but what's that selfish thing
Yeah.
that's pushing you to the end of the week that
Like-
you could just get giddy about?
I don't know what else it is. I know where people have other passions, but I don't know what other thing that people really partake in. Like, I guess if you were a big fan of a musician, they're going to come to your town one time out of the year. If you're a big like Marvel fan, their movie's going to come out and it's going to come out one time a year. We get this boom, 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 boom every Saturday, every
Dopamine
Sunday.
drop every weekend in the fall.
It's on, and you know it's coming.
Every single time.
It's great.
Talk to me about how the origin of college football love started for you. Because when you were here a couple weeks ago, we started breaking down. You play a little bit in high school. You're more a baseball guy. Then you really didn't do anything in college, but you just found the love. And then you've obviously turned into the college football guru you are today.
Yeah, I grew up in it. Like, I was immersed in it. So the stereotype about kids who grew up in the South, like, that was me.
Mhm.
So it was no different than that. What I wondered for a long time is like, okay, if I'm not going to play it, I don't look like I'm going to get a scholarship to Syracuse or Northwestern or one of those big journalism schools. So everyone I see on TV has one pretty much, or either they're a former player or former coach, and I'm none of those. So it looks like maybe I won't be able to do this for a living. So I'm just going to watch it and I'm going to love it like all my buddies do. So then what was crazy, you guys have seen this just like I have, 2013, 14, 15 rolls around. I've been doing radio for a little while, but like when I pulled up Facebook one day and someone was live streaming, or when I pulled up YouTube one day and someone was live streaming, I wasn't around for the Berlin Wall, but in our world, in my world, in the non-former player, non-former coach, non-big journalism degree world, those were the Berlin Walls coming down because overhead and distribution was the name of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, your overhead here is a bus that you tricked out and your distribution is the internet. And so once that became the two game changers in the space, I realized, oh, wait, maybe I can. Like if I'm half good at it, maybe I can do that. You can truly bet on yourself at that point. Up until that point, even if you did everything right, there were like 5 or 6 gatekeepers that really determined who scaled, who made it, and who didn't. So it went from passion that I loved it, but that's going to be a hobby. That's what I do for fun, to maybe I can do that for a living. So I would say from birth, I loved it. About 10 years ago is when I realized there could be something professionally there.
There's a career.
Yeah.
What were the learning curves like when you were trying to hit your breakthroughs or break through the ceilings that you had on top of you or that you assumed was on top of you?
Well, it takes so many chops. It's like full Greg Schiano. I mean, the guy had sat up there in Rutgers for years. Every Thursday night, it felt like they play a game. And every Thursday night, he'd get on air and he'd say, we got to keep chopping wood. We got to keep chopping wood. And I listened to that. It's like in one ear, out the other. That's coaching speak. That's cliches. But then when you start doing this, I mean, for a long time, I'm happy if we get double-digit viewers on a live stream. I'm happy if we've got 17, like we're pushing 20 tonight. And so that's a big deal. Well, I'm thinking to myself, I wonder what I have to do to get millions of viewers, millions of subscribers and listens. And I mistakenly thought, you've got to do way better work. You could be doing the right work. It just takes a while to cut through, which is a good thing. You actually want your big break really quickly, but it's a blessing that the big break doesn't come, because you actually may not be ready for the big break when you're praying for it. So it's actually a blessing that you're 3-4 years down the road is when like a Shannon Terry calls you up, because then you've got your thousands of hours of repetition. You've got a persona a little bit, like you've got an identity. You know who you are. You know what your presentation is. You're not trying to emulate anyone anymore. Like you have your influences just like we all do, but you've divorced yourself from trying to be as repetitively like comparable to them as possible. And so it's just being comfortable not being seen or heard for a long time and understanding it may be a blessing that no one's seeing you or hearing you for a little while. And then the competition's out there quitting every day because they're not getting the results. So unbeknownst to you, there are like 5,000 people that started the same time you did. And there are about 3 to 5 spots at the top of the ladder in what you do. And so it's like 10 years down the road before you could ever achieve it. And you can't see your competition. I'm in Columbus, Georgia doing what I'm doing. There may be a guy in Des Moines, Iowa, maybe a guy in Tucson, Arizona. And every day, like 5 or 10 of them are tapping out because no one's watching them.
Right.
That is hard to adjust to if you don't have perspective about yourself.
I heard
that's powerful shit right there, Josh Pate. That is, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that is.
Chopping wood.
Yeah. I feel like anybody who's tuning in and thinking about something, or they're curious or interested in doing something, that would be a conversation that they're probably sitting there and self-talking themselves on, do I want to do this? Or if they're in the middle of something right now and they're not getting the love that they think they should be getting right now, like that right there is a great perspective to lean on.
Take consistent action. Yeah. And eventually you'll be rewarded for all the things you do.
That's it. Hey, even if you don't get the reward you think you're owed, you'll never lay in bed at night wondering, man, I wonder what would have happened if I didn't quit. Or I wonder what would have happened if I pursued that. That was like in the times where our traction was nothing. And like, I'm trying to work part-time to even stay from getting evicted. You're still telling yourself, yeah, but I'm doing what I love. I'm pursuing what I love. So I'd rather just go broke doing this than go take, like there was a job. I remember this, the Convention and Trade Center in the town I grew up in. There was a job. It would have paid me $60,000 a year, way more money than I had ever made at any point. That was like double what I was making in local TV. I could have taken that and been totally fine the rest of my life. I would have escalated up through middle management, upper management, but I would have never known. And also, since that's the mid to late 20 teens, congruent to me tapping out, someone else would have blown up in the college space, or 2 or 3 people would have blown up in the college space. And I'd be sitting here in 2025 watching their channel, subscribe to their stuff, downloading their pods. And I would think to myself this whole time, I'm not happy, I'm not fulfilled, because deep down, I think that should have been me.
With that mindset of being like, I'm gonna keep this going. I'm doing what I love, regardless if the money's not coming in. Did you have that thought process the entire time, or was there ever a point where you're like, okay, maybe I should pack this? Maybe it's not for me. I see these other guys that maybe, because once you start doing something, you become more aware of what everybody else is kind of trying to do around you.
Yep.
And you kind of see maybe this guy to your left is getting a little more views than you. He's starting to do a little bit better than you. That can be a little bit like comparison is the thief of joy. Like you're losing it. How is he doing better than I am? Was there ever like maybe I should take that $60,000 a year job and work through middle management? Or was it very consistent? Like, I'm going to keep doing this and keep chopping wood.
I would say there were individual moments where, there was doubt, but I would say they were fleeting. Like the consistent theme was, I'm going to see this through. Like, I'm going to steer the ship into the fog. If I hit the rocks, I hit the rocks. But like, I think that's the way I'm supposed to go.
Right.
I think the other thing you hit on there is something that's the stupidest thing that exists in our space, like in the digital media space. People don't know how to define competition in our space. People treat competition in digital media like it's 1993. So in 1993, if you got Bussin going on and I got my show going on and we're both airing in Nashville, Tennessee from 3 to 7 p.m. in the afternoon, every listener you get is one I can't get.
Right.
There is no on demand. There is no replay. There is no download the pod tomorrow morning if you miss the live show. So we got to be at each other's throats. And I got to do whatever I got to do on the streets. I got to get in the pocket of advertisers and take you guys out because that's how I'm going to survive. 2025 is not like that. 2025 is high tide raises all boats. It is on demand. The audience is in full control. And so when you do good, if I have my head on straight, it actually helps me.
Right.
So all that gets in your way is ignorance or jealousy now. And it's crazy. It's as old as Cain and Abel. So it'll always be there. But to watch the guys who don't get it and who still try and talk about being competitive, and they think competitive means taking views from someone. It's not the way the industry works anymore. And there was a whole bunch I didn't know. There's a whole bunch I still don't know. But I realized early on, if I'm watching other people who are doing college football on digital media, I'm rooting for them. I'm not looking at their viewership as being twice mine and saying, dude, man, I'm so envious of that. How do I take that for myself?
Right.
What I'm thinking is, how do I make sure I'm in their suggested videos feed? How do I make sure I get some rub with their channel? How do I make sure their audience sees me? I'm going to be active in their comment section. I'm going to do that. But the competition, dude, it's so misunderstood. The competition's with a standard. It's not with anybody else that's in the space. At least I don't think it is in 2025.
Dude, I could not agree with that thought process more. Like you said, everybody, there's so many eyes and ears in this world. And if you're a fan of sports and you go we were talking about New Heights. Like they just had Taylor Swift on. They had 17 million views on Wednesday. That's a win for everybody.
Yes.
Like you're bringing more eyes and ears, and hopefully they come and see you a little bit as well. And you get to snap off, 1% of those people want to stay with you and watch you as well. It's such an interesting change when you go from playing competitive sports, where everyone is like, you walk into a room, it's high school. You walk into a room, there's a starting left tackle. I want to be the starting left tackle. So now I'm competing with him back and forth, trying to get that job. And then obviously if you're able to get it, you're trying to get a scholarship. It's always competing for self. And then going to a world like this, it's like you have to kind of turn off the thought process of competing with others to now you're competing with yourself, and how do you make your brand and quality as good as possible. So when people do stumble upon you, it's like, all right, like you're giving them something that they want to come back to.
But think about this also. What do you want out of it? Like, you could be of the mentality that all I want to do is grow my brand individually, make as much money as I can. You could be purely selfish about it, and that's your business. Like, if you want to be that way, I don't advise it, but I'm not going to tell you not to be that way. But like, think about fundamentally what you get to do. You get to, both of you played the game. I'm sitting here having not even played the game. I'm strictly taking from football. And it's the stupidest mentality in the world to have, where you make life-changing money sitting behind a microphone talking about a sport, to think, oh, I don't owe anything to this space. I don't owe anything to that game. I don't owe anything to the community at large. I don't know how you make it long-term thinking like that. I don't know how you make it in life thinking like that, much less make it professionally. Boy,
I
that
yeah.
Nebraska hat looks so good.
You like it? I thought you would have one on too. I know that, you know, I watched your show last night.
I heard.
I saw the clip, obviously, but I also consumed the entirety of your show last night. And I had a little shit-eating grin when I heard you say biggest Nebraska supporter in the city of Nashville. So I assumed that you'd probably have on something Nebraska related. I ask, are you going to be on the road with us next week at Arrowhead? Nebraska, Cincinnati, being the Nebraska supporter that you are, which fires me up because you're a monster in the space. So, hey, more Nebraska supporters, the better.
Here's the problem I have. The problem I have is if I'm at Arrowhead next week and then I'm at the Bussin Bowl a few weeks later, the public starts to talk about Nebraska homerism. The public starts to throw allegations that I can't afford right now. And so I've got to choose one or the other. But
wouldn't that be better? Because isn't the bias with Josh Pate is that you're an SEC homer?
It really depends on who you're listening to. Because you go around the South and they'll tell you, do you slurp the Big Ten too much? And the Big Ten will definitely tell you the opposite. And then some guy randomly threw Big 12 homerism at me the other day. And there's not a Big 12 homer on the planet, by the way. That's not even a thing that exists.
I don't know. We got one that sits in the back there.
Right
His name's
there.
Sherman Young.
Someone get that fun green cap.
He loves Big 12 football back
I
there.
love the Big 12, but everybody thinks you're making it a charity case when you say that. I'm talking about people who would, like in Predator, take the machete across the chest. They bleed Big 12.
Yeah.
Those people are hard to find. And so when you get like accused of being one, it's almost like a badge of honor in a weird way because it's the safest allegation.
Yeah.
You can own that. And if you're a Big 12 homer, no one hates you. So that's actually the one I want, but it's not the one I have.
Yeah. Did you hear the little nugget he threw in there, the Easter egg?
What's that?
If he's at the bus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you come in. So yeah, honestly, if it's my perfect world, would love to have you at the Bussin Bowl over Arrowhead.
Do you worry that you may overshadow the game that day? I think we're getting to the point where
me personally,
the juice around the Bussin Bowl. I'm just, if you think you talk to Sharon, you talk to Matt Rule, and then you talk to you guys, do you think that there may be leading up to kickoff a little concern the game's being overshadowed because Bussin Bowl is in town?
I think that's pressure, and pressure makes diamonds.
Yeah.
And one team will rise to the occasion and one team won't. It's a reason why it's the greatest trophy game in all of college football.
Which I disagree with.
Well, we can get into that. I mean, we all have opinions, no matter how wrong or right they are. We all have opinions, right?
Yep.
So but also, we're bringing eyes and ears to the game that we love, to the teams that we love.
Yeah, you're giving back to the game.
These guys, want it. They need it. They got to have it. They look at that Bussin Bowl trophy that's in Ann Arbor, Michigan right now, that's sitting in their players' locker room or their players' lounge, whatever it is, and they smile when they walk past it. They think Bussin' with the boys. They think tradition, rich history, two elite programs that have been a staple of college football since the time they planted their block N and M.
That fires me up.
They're proud. So
that fires me up.
September 20th, two teams will enter, one team will leave victorious.
One day that trophy could be Floyd of Rosedale.
Floyd of Rosedale.
One day that trophy could be Floyd.
Is that the pig?
I got one trophy on my set.
Is that the pig?
And it's the pig.
Pig, is that Minnesota?
Yeah, Minnesota, Iowa.
Minnesota, Iowa. That's the greatest trophy, you think?
I love it as the greatest trophy in sports. I think it's better than the Stanley Cup. I just love it's got a name.
That's crazy.
It's a pig named Floyd.
Yeah.
It's a pig that's a trophy, that's a statue. They've got the axe. You probably know the Big Ten trophies better than I do.
Wisconsin, Minnesota.
That's beautiful.
That's a good one. And honestly, as a pig lover, I had a pig in college. His name was Dr. Hamlet III. Yeah. I can have respect and love for that trophy. Doesn't hold a candle to the Bussin Bowl. Doesn't hold a candle to the Paul Bunyan Trophy.
And you're not biased in any way. Like you're speaking about this from an unbiased perspective.
I think if you look at, just pull up a picture of the Bussin Bowl trophy. If we're talking about looks alone,
but sentiment as well.
Yeah,
there's sentiment on my side with Floyd.
I can understand.
I'm not knocking this trophy. This is a very good trophy. In time, I think it could elevate in meaning. I think this year goes a long way in that.
Yeah,
Floyd's been around since the Mayflower came over.
Yeah,
the only way
I would agree with you. I could say I would have
since the Mayflower.
Speaking for myself, biased towards the Bussin Bowl, but in all totality, you can't just have a one-sided Bussin Bowl trophy. We're very young. We're in our youth stages right now.
Can I get some feedback?
Go ahead.
I think you need to feature the trophy more prominently. I have not seen a close-up of this trophy, and I consume your stuff pretty fairly religiously. So I think that you need to get the image of the trophy out there more. I think it needs to be more prominent. I think it needs to be featured more.
I agree.
Mini trophies, merchandisable. I don't think it's a terrible idea.
Write that down.
That could be your chalice of supremacy.
Yeah. Write that down back there. We interrupt this episode to bring you Dude Wipes. Are you fumbling the ball when it comes to getting a confident clean in the back of your end zone? Make the right play, call an audible, and switch from dry toilet paper to wet extra large Dude Wipes. Why? It's simple. Wetter just cleans better. And Dude Wipes are wet and extra large so they clear, never smear your rear. So when you got to go number 2, be sure to bring the number 1 product in clean. Dude Wipes, the GOAT of cleaning your keister. Available on Amazon and at a Walmart nationwide. Dude Wipes. Best clean, pants down. Back to the episode.
But can we go back for just a
It's a
second?
handsome trophy.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So you're talking about pressure, and you were talking about pressure making diamonds and big game coming up. That's what, 4 weeks from now? What date is that?
September 20th.
September 20th. But like before August ends, you got a first pitch coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, and so
It's tonight as we're listening
As
to the
you're
show.
as you're watching the show, it is tonight.
Can I give you my take on this? Because
Please.
everyone's going to try and hype you up. Everyone's going to tell you don't be nervous. You're going to be nervous if you remain in your current state. So folks like to listen to music before they go do stuff like this. Folks like to do push-ups or do the armbands. If you'll pop 3 NyQuil 30 minutes before you throw out this first pitch, you will be fine. You'll go inner third, outer third. You'll be able to location spot. You'll be fine. You fall asleep afterwards.
Yeah.
But you will be totally fine, and you hardly will even remember the experience. But you'll have the film like George Bush after 9/11.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to go back and you'll be able to say, dude, I fell asleep in the dugout after this, but that was 63 on the black.
Tell me why NyQuil. How'd you get there? I thought you were going to say something along the lines of visualization.
No.
I thought you were going to compliment
No.
my throwing abilities because we've actually played catch.
We have. But that wasn't Kauffman Stadium. You're going to Kauffman, right? You're going to Kansas City?
Yes.
Yes. I just all due respect to the alley back here. There's not a waterfall in center field in the alley back here.
Could make one.
Quick Trip, by the way, one of my big partners, is the presenting sponsor of the Kansas City Royals. So this is a big deal for me to even have you guys in town. In fact, welcome to Kansas City.
Yeah.
I'm just in all due respect, like that's a little different than out back the warehouse.
Listen,
here.
Josh, with all due respect, we have been working on the mental side. Feeling
Yeah.
the grass, feeling the space around you, trying to bring yourself back to Busch
Deep
Stadium
breaths,
when it happened.
visualization.
Okay, so I'm just saying my advice is scrap all the prep and take NyQuil.
Take NyQuil.
That's my advice. You take it or leave it.
right. Okay.
That's
That's
what you may be okay.
What's your experience been with NyQuil in these big moments?
I can throw accurately, so I don't need it.
But when have
what
you
I'm
used
saying-
NyQuil?
Shit.
When have you used NyQuil to help you out in a big moment?
No, I've not done that, but I think you get
So you're
one
giving
shot
my
at
man
this.
some wild.
You give me wild
tips.
advice. Part of me feels like maybe you're trying to set me up a little bit.
I don't want to set
Maybe
you up.
I'm- maybe
If
on
I
the
were
mound,
setting
I
you
start
up,
taking a slumber.
I would say take it an hour before if I wanted to set you up.
Yeah,
They would wheel
maybe.
you out there then. No, I want you just to be so lost and
Taylor
not in the
Hawkins.
moment. It's just like muscle memory. Boom. I threw it. Did I throw the pitch already? Yeah, you did. Here's the replay.
Right.
Good to go. Fly home.
So you're basically telling me drug yourself.
Yes, legally.
This is role models. This is Sean William Scott out camping, and he takes a bunch of drugs with the girl so they can sleep. They can have hallucinations.
It is the Sean William Scott approach to first pitches. Yes.
Okay. I will.
You can get this stuff at CVS.
We're gonna put that. We're in the suggestion box.
Could be a
We're
partner.
gonna put it.
Could be a partner of the show if this all
NyQuil,
works
if you're
out.
looking to sponsor, I will overdose your shit for
We are
for
now
big
brought
moments.
to you by NyQuil.
Yeah, we are not brought to. No free shout outs to NyQuil. No free shout outs to NyQuil. That is an interesting take. Just get drowsy enough so it doesn't mean a whole lot to
Yeah.
you.
Just whatever. If I make
Yeah.
it, fine. If I miss it, fine. I'll be asleep in 5 minutes either way.
You know who's really fucked me up the most in this? Jeremy Klump.
Yeah.
He has, for the last 2 weeks, every day at one point told me how nervous he is for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't nervous until mid last week. And then after the 50th time of him being like, I just hope you have a good pitch and I'm worried about you and hopefully it's a good pitch. And I'm like, I should be a little worried about this. I should be a little worried. Here's where I sit.
Because it's getting closer.
Yeah.
It's here.
Yeah.
It is here. You're probably watching this episode right now and I'm on a plane to Kansas City.
FanDuel's promoting it.
Yeah.
$10,000 in bonus bets. Taylor throws a pitchable or a catchable pitch.
So where is
Uncatchable.
your mind at? Where's your mind at?
At this point,
Yeah.
I'm going to take these next 16 hours. I'm going to do the work I have to do sitting with you. We have another person coming on later. Knock out a couple of things for the show we have on Wednesday. And then I'm going to visualize, meditate, get 5 to 10 throws in today. 5 to 10 quality. I'm not looking to rip it. I just want to feel the arm action. I want to feel my shoulders coming across the body. I want to feel the release point. And then Hayes in the barn.
Yeah.
Get ready. Watch a little film on the flight. Look over my notes, game plan, the whole entire thing. Lean on Will tomorrow. I'm going to lean on my boy a little bit. He's the one that's going to be catching the pitch. And when time comes, I'm going to grip it and rip. People would go and take the easy way out, which is float it over there.
Yeah.
Hey, I did it. No, I've got to throw it. I've got to do full windup. I've got to do exactly what I did in St. Louis, but the ball's got to go down the middle.
I respect it. I'm pulling for you.
And if I fail,
yeah, it's a win for me either way. So I'm pulling for you.
I think it's a win for
I don't think it's throw your hands up if I fail.
No. Well, he kind of cut me off. If I fail, if I fail, back to the drawing board, we go back again.
Do you just keep hitting up big league parks until you throw a strike?
Listen.
Yes.
Big league parks hit us up.
Yes.
They were like, hey,
Yes.
we want this here. Multiple teams. If I fail here, you bet your ass I'll be back again.
Do you do a tour through the minors before you hit the big leagues again?
That's been talked about.
That's
been talked about. If I miss this pitch, Savannah Bananas will be my first call.
Oh, okay.
Not the Sounds. What about like
Sounds might be my second call. Sounds DM. Sounds like we're ready for your redemption in Nashville.
Yeah.
To be honest, I wanted a major league ballpark before I'd probably have to bend the knee and say, okay, I need to go down to the minors. So if I fail this, I'll probably go to Little League for a little bit. Start doing some coach's pitch for some kids for a little bit. Let them do their thing.
Just step towards your target.
Yeah.
Just don't grip the ball too hard. Grip it and rip it, but don't grip it hard.
Yeah.
And just step towards your target.
Right.
You'll be fine.
Right.
You'll
I'm
be
with
fine.
you. I'm with you. As we're talking about, I'm getting more nervous now.
That was the purpose.
I might need the NyQuil.
That was the
I might need the NyQuil.
You already know
at
too.
this
When we're on
moment.
that plane and we land, we get to the stadium. It's going to.
Yeah.
It's going to be a different feeling.
And the thing
be a
too is like
different
we're
feeling.
doing a whole bunch. We're doing some fun things. We're doing BP. We're doing it like we're gonna have a bunch of content to do, and it's like great fun. Yeah, I'm gonna try to be present for that. However, in the back of your head, like when I was playing football, it's like people would come in, they fly in. It's Nashville. Everybody wants to come and watch a game, so they come in. So every other weekend, I have friends and family in town, and they're wanting to hang out. But you get to Thursday, it's like I'm not here with you. I might physically be here, but mentally I'm thinking about this guy, his rush, what the defense does so the blitz comes so I can be more prepared for this guy standing inside instead of just talking to you about your work. Because to be honest, I don't care right now. No disrespect. I don't give a shit how work's going.
Do you think that, so of course the normal person doesn't understand that, but just the concept of game day, you talked about Thursday, just take game day.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought if you could take a normal person, don't even have them go through reps during the week. Don't have them go through film. Don't have them do anything, but just walk them into the environment on Saturday. Wake up at the hotel or Sunday, get on the bus, police escort into stadium, and then just be on the field during warm-ups. The sensory overload that is a big-time college or pro environment, just the hour pregame leading up, and try and explain to that person, hey, you've got to go execute against professional football players. After all this, to me, even just work in media, it takes a little while to get adjusted to how big the sensory overload is. Because you can sit in a studio and do it. You could be on a practice field and doing it. But like executing in an arena on Saturday, on Sunday, coaching or playing, just to be focused, like the level of focus you got to get to. And with a coach, they're not doing physical. There's just mental. To stay locked in, I've always appreciated folks who can do that.
It's taking a regular person to do that. If you take it a step further and give them the entire week of preparation, we're like, here's your playbook, here's your tendencies, here's your keys to victory, and you're basically studying for a test all week long. And then you add the police escort waking up in the morning. It's quiet in the chow hall. Everyone's sitting there having their omelets. Some guys can't eat. Some guys can't. You get on the bus. Music's just playing. You hear different genres of music going on. Some guys like to sit quietly. Other guys are a little more loud. It's that nervous anxiousness. Then you get into the if you're on the first bus, you're there 2 hours before the game starts. You're rolling out. You're stretching. Everything's quiet. So, and then you go out. Fans, if it's an away game, they're yelling at you, screaming at you. Then you go to the pregame. Now the juices are really flowing because you have the full uniform on and you're going through and you don't want to like overexert yourself, but you want to put enough effort into where you're lubed up a little bit before you go in the locker room. The hardest part of every game is after warmups, going into the locker room before the national anthem. That's the hardest part of every single football game. Because then you got guys with their notes. I'm sure Will was like this, where he had his notes, his defensive calls, tendencies, these types of things. Some guys want to, put the trap music on and then go do the prayer in the shower right after that, and they're yelling and hooting and hollering. You got a guy in the corner that's throwing up. Like, there's so many different things. And then you walk back out after being a part of warm-ups with the stadium's 25% full to now it's 100% full, and it's like you're walking to a fucking gauntlet. And then the national anthem hits, your heart rate's at 180, haven't even taken a snap yet. And you're just thinking to yourself, let me get this first shot out of the way. And once you get that, it's like, all right, we can get going. The hardest part of the game.
We're here.
Yeah,
we're here.
Right here. And we get to, being able to sit and watch, so much more fun.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, so much more enjoyable just to observe.
Yeah, like, man, that boy's really getting his ass beat
Yeah.
today. Being the guy that's getting his ass beat that day, not fun. Winning, playing the game, you cannot beat playing a football game and having that many people watch where you feel like you're the main attraction. Nobody else in the world cares about whatever's going on except for right here. But the pressure that comes with it can be overbearing. So no, I don't think that a regular person could handle that pressure week in and week out. Because then you go, game's over.
Well, if they were prepared for it, like when you say regular person, like if they had, it's like he was given the analogy, like putting people in that environment with zero preparation, and then they got to go do it. I feel like you kind of have a fallback in your mind of you're not prepared or you're underprepared.
Yeah.
But when you're fully prepared for an entire week and the expectation is there, and you're going over, are they going to get me here? Are they going to motion empty? Are they going to isolate me on third down and trips far gun? Are they going to do all these things that you are prepared for? But you're trying to figure out schematically what are they going to do to you. I feel like understanding that expectation walking on the field as the national anthem's going on, and that fear, that fight or flight is in your mind on just executing. I think having an entire week of being fully prepared and walking out there would be a different feeling than having zero preparation at all and then going out there. You'd be scared, but you'd be able to fall back on, I didn't do anything to get to this moment. I get to feel all of this moment, but I feel like that anxiety and that fear that kicks in being fully prepared is the difference of, with your analogy on putting somebody in that environment.
I think the getting to the clearing of the mechanism headspace that you got to be in. And you could just as easily be talking about a quarterback as a play caller. The level of, like, if there's a scale of 1 to 10, maximum focus a human can have on a task at hand, getting to 10, getting there, and on kickoff being there, but then being there 3.5 hours later. You've just been there. If you're good at what your craft, at what you do, you're still there 3.5 hours later. Especially like if I'm watching quarterback on Netflix. One of the things I appreciate the most is the prep is beyond insane. People would never understand it. You're going through living the life. You're going through being the face of a franchise, all that. All right. So then you get to game day. You go through what you just talked about. First quarter's over, second quarter's over, halftime's over, third quarter, fourth quarter. Most NFL games are decided maybe in the last 10 minutes, last 8 minutes. And to be that sharp and to be that zoned in at level 10, at level 11 with 2 minutes, 12 seconds to go, and it's 3rd and 8, and these next 2 downs are going to determine the quality of life for the entire next week for your entire locker room, not just you, and to still be that dialed in. I'm talking about maintaining that level of focus for 3.5 or 4 hours at a time in that environment. That is what blows my mind, that people can do it, but that's why most people can't do it.
Yeah. Also the preparation point. In 2020, there was all the COVID stuff going on. We had a game, we were supposed to play the Steelers, and then there's this big COVID outbreak at the Titans. So we do Zoom calls all week long. I'm like, hey, we're playing the Steelers. We're going to start preparing for these guys. This is the game plan. This is what's going on. That game gets canceled. And they're like, hey, you're no longer playing the Steelers. This counts as your bye week. Now you're playing the Bills.
Yeah, the bye week.
Yeah, you guys are having a bye week. They put us in Zoom calls. We go in one day for a walkthrough. And everyone is walking to that walkthrough with 2 thought processes. We're going to get our ass beat or we're going to beat ass. There's really no middle ground of what's going to happen because there's been so little preparation. The Bills just
came
came
up kind of
a
release too.
There was a release.
It's like, fuck it, let's just
yeah.
Let's
and
go out
we
there
end
and see what
up
happens.
beating the shit out of the Bills.
Brought to you by Zoom.
Brought to you by Zoom. So that's where when you brought up the bring them in cold and just let them enjoy, like let them go through a game day. That's not the pressure. The pressure is you're given these coaches, if they're good coaches, are giving you the answers to the test all week long.
Yep.
You've studied it, you've repped it countless times.
Yeah.
Now you have to go and do it. And because they told you this, and you have to succeed, you have to do these 3 things: offense, defense, special teams. So 9 total key points. You do those things, you're going to succeed. Then you have the result of the game. If you succeeded, it's great. These are what we checked off. This is what we can do better. If you lose, it's like, we gave you the answers to the test. You guys failed the test. Then
And now people are going to rip us all week because you failed the test. Yes.
When you go into that game where we play the Bills, it's like, truly, that's what you walk into that game and you're like, yeah, we're probably going to get murdered today. Because no one's done a whole lot. We got 15 guys on COVID. We've been on Zoom the whole time. We did a jog through, and that was the one thing we did in a 10-day span.
And all the players are in our position groups, just going to like a local park separately.
Yeah.
And the player, it's just all player led. Like, hey, let's go. Coach wanted us to go over this stuff.
Yeah.
Has any good documentary been done yet on the COVID year?
Needs to. I have not seen one. Look at the score of this game. 42-16. After that, we're in the locker room chanting tits out for the boys, tits out
And
for
trying to
the
talk
boys.
Vrabel into no more practice.
No more practice. We told Vrabel we don't got to practice. We don't got to do this.
Vrabel,
anymore.
you
Why
said
would
it
you?
anywhere, any place, anytime.
Yeah, and we did it. Like, the proof is right there.
Yeah. Against Josh Allen and the
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills.
The hardest thing is not like that week is really hard. The preparation is really hard. It's having a result, good, bad, or indifferent, how you played. How do you do next week?
Yeah.
That's the true scale of a great football player. It's like, can you do it consistently 17 times and then having a bye week? And then you're going to have an injury. You're going to be sore. How do you replicate a good game? How do you get rid of the bad games? How do you take the coaching? How do you get ego out of the way? It's so much more in depth than people think that it really is. Even that quarterback shows, because quarterback shows, like, they're doing practice and then it's like a blip. It's a 5-minute blip. And then they're out with their wives and they're going over the plays. Like Jared Goff, his wife's reading the plays. It's like, yeah, he does that. But probably when those cameras turn off, he's like, okay, I'm out of here.
All right.
And he's upstairs.
We're going to work now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gone all day long.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Enough about us, though.
Yeah.
Let's get into Josh Pate. Didn't play. How are you growing your brand, your style on camera when you're also factoring in the play factor? Because a lot of people, a lot of haters, that'll be one of the first things they come at if you miss anywhere or get something wrong, is they'll talk about, they could talk about your reputation of being able to play.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say former players miss all the time too. Like, who in the world? I would take former coaches. I mean, no one knows the game better than a guy who played and then coached. You've seen the game from every angle. You've experienced it from every angle.
Right.
Find me that guy who is now making a living betting football.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's really,
Yeah.
if that's the shortcut, find me anyone who's sitting behind a desk. There are a million former players and former coaches who were in studios on Sunday and Saturday. They pick games, don't they? I mean, it's all public. Like, which one of them's knocking it out of the park 70+% against the spread? So clearly there's more to understanding or digesting the game than just having played it. But make no mistake, I'd love to have had a 15-year career playing for the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, that definitely gives you name and brand recognition. You have a deeper and more nuanced understanding of the game. There's no substitute for that. But when you walk in a stadium on Saturday, or when you fire this video up and you look at the viewership of it, 99% of the people in the audience never played. So who are you stacking your show for? Are you stacking your show for former players? Or are you stacking your show for the millions upon millions of people who are going to watch or listen? And the answer, to me at least, is I want to build the show for the audience that I want consuming the show, which means we're going to talk about the game, but the key is not, hey, did you play the game? The key is, do people care what you have to say? So like when I'll go and speak at colleges, they'll ask for advice. There was that symposium in Nashville last week. There were a lot of people here from college football, and some of them wanted to get into media, and they were saying, what's your biggest piece of advice? And I always ask the same question because someone asked this question of me. They said, why would anyone care what you have to say? And there was just like awkward silence when I got asked that question, because it sounded like a trick question. It sounded like they were trying to dunk on me or something like
Right.
that. They weren't.
Right.
They were given the most honest, brutal piece of feedback ever, and that is, if no one cares what you have to say, it doesn't matter what you know. It doesn't matter where you played. It doesn't matter where you coached. It doesn't matter what your IQ is. Nothing. It doesn't matter how great your thumbnails and SEO is. If no one cares what you have to say, no one's going to watch you or listen to you. So how do you make people care what you have to say? That's the most inexact science in our business. But I think the best cheat code is be your audience. Like, I grew up with my audience. I am of my audience. I go eat barbecue on Tuesday afternoon with my audience. I always have. Because like my social circle growing up, that's exactly who I tailored my show towards. Because that is the mass college football public. I mean, that's a guy that's roofing down in LaGrange, Georgia from 9 to 5 every day. That's a guy driving a cement truck in Topeka, Kansas. That's your audience. Your audience isn't former players. So when people do that, a lot of times it's more born out of insecurity. Because like no dude with a huge following who's a former player ever dunks on me for not being a former player. It's people I've never heard of before who are in defense mechanism mode. They're like in wounded animal mode because they haven't really found a path for themselves. And so it's like, well, what can I say about this dude? Let me think. Oh, he didn't play. Like, cool. How'd you find that out about me? Other than I say it every week, how'd you find that out? Yeah. So it doesn't really hamstring me all that much.
I mean, you bring up a good point because again, the people who would do it would be like players, or people who played the game.
Like Greg Olson's not dunking on me because I didn't play.
Yeah.
Like the guys who have made it as former players, they're not the ones throwing that at you. The ones throwing that at you are like Tiger Boy 036 at 2:30 in the morning with 36 followers. Right. You didn't play. Why would I listen to you?
I think it's one of Sherman's burners.
Yeah, I didn't ask you to listen to me actually.
Going off of that though, I think you said something really good there to where you're curating your content and your stuff, your own unique self to a former self of yours that was in these social circles. How have you curated your content and built out your content, knowing what your strengths are and trying to stay away from what your weaknesses might be?
Well, listen first off. So listen to people, like listen to what they want to talk about. Don't be stupid enough to ever get on a grease board and start talking X's and O's because I've got no business doing that. And if we really find that the audience wants that, I'll go find someone to do it on our platform. And then stay true to what it is you promise people. Like if you promise to be college football all year, present college football all year. Don't do it through January or February and then all of a sudden go 20% into politics or go 30% over towards some secret passion you have that your audience didn't sign up to listen to you talk about. The only difference with that is like I go storm chasing a lot in the spring, and we found that there is broad fascination with storm chasing. Because I would drop nuggets about it on our show and we would get thousands and thousands of requests. Hey, talk about that more in the spring. I'd rather listen to that than updates on Northwestern's offensive line. So that's the one exception where I've maybe deviated 20% off college football, and it's in the middle of spring when there's no games going on anyway. But otherwise, just stay true to what you promise. It's like really simple. People screw it up all the time. And it's so simple to just define like what's the overlap of your passion and your talent. For me, thankfully, it was talking about college football, and then just stay there. That's where your career is. That's how it never becomes a job. It's just a career because you're doing what you would do for free. You happen to be doing it for a living, and fingers crossed people like it. Okay, check. They do. Don't be stupid. Don't screw it up. Just keep delivering what it is they're telling you through their engagement and viewership and listenership that they want.
You talked about staying in your lane. It has obviously, like, we only have so much bandwidth per week, per day, to be able to accomplish certain things with our shows, our ambitions, what we want to do. Have you ever been approached to in a sense that people want you to keep doing what you're doing, but at a higher scale, maybe going on some major networks or something like that, where you had to evaluate and be like, okay, would this take away from my enjoyment from what I truly enjoy?
Every year for the past 3 years, that's happened a lot.
Nice.
Give us an example.
Well, this past spring, it happened a lot. I mean, you know, in our world, you don't work in terms of calendar years, you work in terms of football seasons. So it's kind of like a fiscal year, which I never understood what that was because I was broke. So I do understand it now a little bit more. And in my world, the calendar is August through February. And then you negotiate all your stuff in spring. So like this past spring, I mean, there were several networks. Hey, would you be willing to do your show 5 days a week and take stupid money for us to put it on our platforms or behind a paywall? And so, hey man, money's great, but we already make enough of it. And I'm doing my show 3 days a week. And the trade-off there is, like, we went 90 minutes last night. Hardcore, in-depth, like
jam-packed,
a ton of information in that.
Yeah.
Like, I think that I could have gone 4 hours if I wanted to spread that out. Well, the only way we can do that is to do it every other day instead of every day. And the audience consumption rate says that's good because we get bulk majority of our engagement on replay traffic the next day anyway. So if we were trying to deliver that every night, we'd be delivering a watered down version of that. we wouldn't really be ever giving 100% what we're capable of. It would just be like 75%, but a lot more of it. And really, you would have just sold out for a paycheck anyway. And if I was in dire straits, like maybe a network comes along, I've got to think about doing that for 2 or 3 years to set myself up financially. But if you're doing okay or better for yourself, I've said no every year to that stuff.
Yeah.
What are your personal non-negotiables? Like when you're thinking of, I'm doing just fine, doing what I'm doing.
To
where you don't get that dangling carrot.
I don't want to wear suits on air.
Fair.
I don't
Bad
want...
news about locker room this year. We're changing the wardrobe.
Really?
Yeah.
Full suits
only.
Is it a tear off at least?
It's every other week. It's actually t-shirts. T-shirt suits.
I got in a big fight about this with a local TV general manager one time. Because the way I started was like he called me cold. Never met him. He said, "Hey, I run a local news affiliate, like an NBC affiliate. Do you want to do a late night college football show? It's like no one's going to watch it, but you'll be on TV, you'll get reps. Hopefully you'll build something." But the non-negotiable was, "Hey man, if you're on my desk, you got to wear a suit," which was fair. Like it's his platform. But I love the dude. Like I still love him today, but we would argue back and forth because he was old school. He was from traditional news. And he's like, "You cannot wear t-shirts on TV and be taken seriously." And I said, "I can't report on a triple homicide wearing a t-shirt and be taken seriously. I can talk about Alabama versus Georgia Saturday in a t-shirt, and I promise you the audience we're trying to reach will consume it just fine." So, hey, I'm on his dime, so I'm going to do it his way. But as soon as we got to where we owned it and we controlled it, I said, I'm not putting a suit on again.
Not doing it.
Like unless I am working national championship coverage or something like that. Like when I was with CBS, I'd go up to New York and do their Inside College Football show. I respect them. That's their show. I'll wear a suit. But on my stuff, I'm not wearing a suit.
Yeah.
I don't want to have anybody touch creative control of the show. So I want to be executive producer of it and have full final say. I want to have personal relationships with the advertising partners instead of being told, "Hey, you're partnering with this brand," because I want to present stuff that is authentic to the brand. So those are a few of the non-negotiables, I guess. And to not have to touch anything other than college football.
Quick break from the episode to bring you Form Energy. Form Energy delivers best-in-class taste with natural flavors and zero sugar. Form Energy has natural caffeine derived from green tea, and Form comes in a variety of flavors, like Screamin' Eagle, that is Rocket Pop inspired, Grape Smash, Blue Blitz, Orange Fury. Perfect for those who put in the work, or for the person who wakes up in the morning, gets a workout in, puts in a full day of work, and still gives it their all when they come home, whether they're putting on the dad hat or putting on the best friend hat or husband hat, wife hat, whatever the case may be. Form Energy. We do the work. Back to the episode. What is your, I guess we can save that for the Bud Light question. You got Nebraska in your college football playoff.
Yeah, man.
Hold on, before you start talking
Sorry,
ball,
I just...
because I know we're going to get to ball in a second, but I did hear a juicy story in our pre-production meeting about you getting into the space of sports media, where you went and you DM'd a company. It was a radio station.
Yep.
You went and got a job. You're kind of doing, you're doing a little bit of bitch work. You're kind of running stuff. Somebody gets hurt, car accident or something like that. And they're like, we gotta thrust somebody into this. And it ends up being you that goes on the station. And they're like, you were so great that they made you a mainstay on the show. Is there truth and validity to that?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of truth. So it was just the guy had a cold. Car wreck sounds better though.
Yeah.
So a guy got in a car
That
wreck.
was told car wreck. I was actually told broken leg.
Yeah,
as
I don't
well.
know if he made it, honestly.
Yeah.
To this day.
He didn't have NyQuil. It was a bad deal. Yeah. It was a bad deal. I understand.
So I'm working, I'd worked construction down in Columbus, Georgia. I was in a fabric warehouse at this time, and I was listening to talk radio. Like I would listen to Colin Cowherd's show every day. He was at ESPN Radio.
He's fantastic.
Oh, he would get me to lunch every day.
Yeah.
Like that's how I got myself to lunch. And then the afternoon, that was when like Rosillo and Scott Van Pelt had a show. It was a really good stretch of radio. So I just listened to it all day, every day. And I'm telling myself, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I'm also telling myself, I've got no way in. I've got no way in. I've got no way in. But I remember Saban had just gotten to Alabama. It was like the second year he was at Bama. He comes to Columbus. He does like a public speaking tour. $45 entry fee. I can't afford it. I borrow money to get a ticket to go see Saban speak. And he talked about process-oriented thinking. He talked a lot about how defining your goals, but then totally setting them aside and just focusing on the process. That's the key to success. And it's not like he was the first person I'd ever heard say that. He's the one who made it click for me. So I'm sitting there in that warehouse and I'm thinking, he had also talked about doing an inventory of your time. Are you investing time or are you just spending time? Look at your typical day. what period of the day is being spent. You're not getting anything back from that you could repurpose. So I figured out, I was driving in my truck like an hour and a half every day, to and from work, to and from class. So I decided the way I'm going to take back some of my time is I'm going to mute the radio. I'm not going to listen to anything in the car, and I'm just going to simulate sports talk radio. So I just talked to my steering wheel. Hours and hours and hours and hours. I would just simulate, like I would turn on the radio. Cowherd brings a segment in from break, mute it. I take over for him. And I had thousands upon thousands of hours over 2 or 3 years of doing that, to where I begged that radio producer, could you let me come in and observe? Finally, he lets me come in, because I'd never seen live production happen before. Mm-hmm. So I sat in that studio like 2 months, and one day, car crash, AKA dude gets sick. 5 minutes before airtime, he has no advance warning. He says, do you just want to hop on air today? It was the middle of college football season in the South. It was an afternoon drive, caller-based talk show. So I hopped on, just killed it. Great synergy, great chemistry. And the dude thought I had been doing it for a long time. Mm-hmm. After the show, he was like, where did you say you've worked before? And I said, well, I've actually never been on air before. However, I kind of do a version of this every day in my truck, like a psychopath. So he never took me off air. And then you fast forward 2 years, and that's when that news station GM hit me up. Mm-hmm. So then I go work local TV, and then I start getting towards the end of a contract. And like, I'm seeing YouTube come of age. I'm seeing Facebook Live as a thing. I know where the industry is going. Right. I see those Berlin Walls coming down. I know that if you got internet, unlike maybe 5 years prior, you could make it. Like, you can make a career for yourself. They wouldn't let me do it because I was on an employment deal at the news station, and you can't be creating your own content. It's a breach of contract. Yeah. So I let my contract run to the last day, and they sit me down, general manager right there, news director right there. And they said, dude, we've been calling your bluff. Like, you've been saying you're going to let your contract run out. We just thought you were BSing us for more money, which we don't have. So I was at $27.5 per year. And I was at $30 per year. And they said, what are you going to do? You're really going to leave? I said, yeah, I'm going to leave. They said, what are you going to do? I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And they just laughed. Not even like a disrespectful laugh, just like, oh, you poor thing. Like, you don't know what you're doing. Right. Don't screw your life up. Yeah. They said, you can't monetize that. How are you going to make money? Because no one was monetizing YouTube at the time. And I said, well, I think the industry is about to change pretty quickly. Like, it's very obvious where viewership trends are going. Ad dollars will follow that. They didn't buy it. So I negotiated to stay with them as a 1099 independent contractor, making like fractions of what I was making. And I was already making nothing. But the trade-off I negotiated was, give me the studio 3 nights a week to do my own show out of. And we agreed on that. So we launched the YouTube channel. And we were doing a college football show. That's it right there. That's like a first version of it. 3 nights a week out of the news station. And it blew up. And in 2 years, CBS called. So we've been here ever since.
No shit.
Yo, that is amazing.
That's an incredible story.
It was a unique way to start doing it. Mm-hmm. Like, that microphone's clearly not plugged in. I'm clearly wearing a lav mic. That's clearly just an aesthetic I bought off Amazon.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a weird way to do it, but it was the only way I could do it. That's the only way I saw in.
It's so interesting the way you bring up Nick Saban's conversation about the process.
Yep.
And a lot of people hear those conversations all the time about how you should handle your time, put your goals to the side. Like, that conversation takes place a lot in a kid's childhood and as a young adult. I feel like something has to happen to you, whether it's borrowing $45 and realizing I have to borrow $45 to go hear this person talk, for it to finally like resonate with somebody. Yep. And I think that's just awesome that people who listen to this show, listen to other shows, they'll hear a bunch of nuggets all the time, but it takes a certain perception, and you have to be going through something for it to really like set inside your body.
Dude, something else happened to me. So when I was working in that fabric warehouse, this was all within a 3-month period. Mm-hmm. The whole Saban comes to town thing, like the same 2 or 3 month period, the guy who owned the fabric warehouse, his name was David Rothschild. Ultra wealthy family, had made a fortune in textiles. Columbus is a textile, like an old mill town. So he was dying of cancer. And he had always taken a liking to me. I'm working back in his warehouse. I don't see him that much except when he comes through there like once a day, but he'd always taken a liking to me. He would always catch up with me. I had not finished college at that point, and he would like nicely but very forcefully tell me, you're screwing your life up. Like, you've got ability. He saw way more in me than I saw in myself. And so he promised me, like, I'm going to die. Like, I am not going to see this through, but I will pay for your school if you'll get back in school. And like, simultaneous to that, the director of the communication department at Columbus State University is just hammering me via email. She doesn't know, like she's not related to me. She doesn't owe me that. But she's hitting me up saying, get back in school. Like, I'll get you back in school. We're going to have a radio and TV program over here. You could do all the reps that you need over here. And so all that stuff happens over a 3-month period. And you realize like you've got to be a total and complete idiot not to see that there is something / someone trying to kick you in the right direction. And so that all like, that's what it's over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But that's all a confluence of events. And you, like, I always heard people say right place, right time. I always question that. Like, I changed my thinking because of all this. I changed my thinking to where being in the right place is where you want to be so that eventually the right time finds you. I changed my thinking because of like that. It's just like I changed my thinking on hearing Saban say stuff like that. I used to hear it. And I thought those statements were a dime a dozen. That's like fortune cookie logic.
Right.
Looks good on a bumper sticker, but it's coach speak. It's cliches. It's just people going to motivational speaking seminars near the airport and someone fooled them into buying a ticket. No, man, that stuff works. It's just hardly anyone applies it.
Yeah.
If you apply it, it works for everybody. That's the beauty of it. It doesn't matter if you want to get in this or you want to go like start a new insurance company and make a fortune over there. Like if that's what you're called to do, you can do it. It's just not going to happen overnight. And it's a good thing it doesn't happen overnight or everyone would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When all this is happening around you, what do you feel like when you look back on it? What do you feel like you weren't seeing in yourself?
I feel like the thing I appreciate the most looking back on it, because I journaled a lot through this period. I'd never done that before, but I knew what I'm going through now. Like I got evicted from my apartment. It was not a great time. It turns out good, but it's not a good time. And I realized one way or the other, I'm going to want a record of this. So like I journaled a lot of it and I look back on it now. And the one thing I kept saying is, I got no clue how this is going to turn out. I got no clue how I'm going to make this bill the next month. I got no clue here, no clue there, but like, I know what I'm doing is worthwhile. And so I know if I'm right about this, what I'm experiencing is going to be so valuable for so many people. That's why I don't hesitate in telling the story a whole lot. It's certainly not bragging. You don't brag about getting evicted or anything or being broke, but you brag that, you know, there are kids who grow up dirt poor and they got like that caged animal syndrome their whole life. There are kids who grow up rich and it doesn't matter how many mistakes they make because they'll always be set for life. There is like an ocean of tweeners out there. I was one of them. I was lower middle class, but like I was not worrying about where my next meal was going to come from as a kid. But I also wasn't set for life as a kid. And so you get out of high school and you don't know what you want to do. And then you're 20, then you're 22, then you're 24. You still really haven't made anything of yourself. You know you've got potential. You know you got talent. We all do. But you're just like floating. You're just pissing away time. You're pissing away years of your life. And so like I didn't really even start having that click till I'm like 30 years old. And I realized if I make something of myself, imagine how this plays to an audience of 22-year-olds. Because I know forever there will be tweeners in life who are sitting out there and they just want something to light a fire under them. Well, what better than someone who can say, yeah, I was right there where you were. Like if you're broke, you got no other option than to work or you're going to die. Like you're not going anywhere. If you're rich, whatever. But if you're a tweener, and that's like a huge population of the United States of America's youth at any given point, no one's really feeling sorry for you, but no one's handing you a whole lot either. That I told myself even at the time, that's who I want to speak to one day. If I ever make it, that's who I want to speak to.
I love that. When what was going through your mind when CBS was starting to get on your tail for, launching? You had done your show on YouTube for 2 years, then you get picked up by CBS. What was the feeling like in your body and your mind when those phone calls were starting to happen?
It's a little bit of, so it's validation. I mean, it's validation. Number one, that someone noticed. It's validation that they were going to pay me $70,000 a year because that's triple, maybe even quadruple what I was making at that point. I was making nothing at that point. Actually, YouTube has started to do okay, but still, like, there's a thing, like when you play your first down in the NFL, you made it as a pro football player. They'll never be able to take it away from you. It doesn't matter if you get cut the next day, you played in the NFL. The first day someone pays you, a company pays you to talk about sports on air, is a very surreal moment. Even if they're just paying you $5, it's a surreal moment because everybody in your life wants to do it. Like everyone dreams of holding one of those like big network microphones and like you're actually getting paid. You're on national TV.
Yeah.
So there was that piece. But then also there's, all right, now it's time to go to work and it's time to shake the tree. Like we're going to find out really how well the root system is taken because you can't screw up. You're going to screw up. But you're thinking, this is a tightrope walk. You've been walking a tightrope 5 feet off the ground. You're going to be 500 feet off the ground now. And a lot more people are going to see you. And you're going to be exposed in every way imaginable. There's going to be a lot of unfamiliar technical jargon. There's going to be, a lot thinner air. You're going to rub elbows with a lot of people you grew up watching as a kid, and you better not have stars in your eyes. Like, you better work with them and talk to them on their level. Or if you're really what you think you are, you better be able to walk in that setting and own the room. Like, how do you walk in there? I grew up watching these guys and listening to these guys, but do you have the presence of mind to set that aside at the door and walk in there and own your craft so thoroughly that when you look at them, like, you're getting respect back from them? Because, like, as a man, when you do and don't have someone's respect. And so that's kind of some of the stuff I was thinking about. And then also thinking, I think I'm prepared for this, but I know there's so much I'm unprepared for. Let's go do it anyway. Then you start doing it. Then COVID happens 2 months later. Yeah, that whole year, you were talking about it on your side. Imagine on my side, I moved to Nashville. You remember the tornado came through?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hit our building. That's the first 2 months I'm here. COVID happens shortly thereafter. Like, later that month is really when you start shutting down. And I always say this, and it sounds so bad, so I have to, like, really carefully preface it. COVID was terrible for a lot of people. And a lot of people lost family members. Like, it was a real serious deal. Professionally speaking, it was the biggest blessing I could ever have that it happened when it happened. Because I came here and then things shut down, and Shannon Terry, who was running 24/7 Sports, but that had been acquired by CBS. So, like, I'm working for him. I'm working out of his building. He said, I'm going to get you emergency access to this building. No one's going to be here for I don't know how long. No one's going to bother you. Just do what you think you need to do. And so we got like 6 months of doing the show our way on CBS's platforms with no corporate interference. And by the time people slowly started to come back, and by the time, like, the executive types started seeing it, it was already making money. It had already scaled.
Yeah.
So they never even had time to, I'm not saying they would have, but they never had time or a reason to step in and try to change this or turn that knob or, course correct at 20 degrees. It was already proven. By the time COVID had ended, it was already proven. So we were good to go at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, there's got to be a good feeling to be like, all right, I get to kind of just run with this thing. No one's expecting anything to work out anyway because we're in the middle of, like, COVID. And then by the time it gets there, it's like, yeah, there's nothing to critique. Because if you're in there with everybody else, there's a chance that executives are going to bring you into a room and be like, hey, maybe change this, maybe do that. Now you're second guessing yourself, but it's your creative process. So you don't want that to whole get messed up. So there's all these things that different variables to mess you up in that process.
Yeah.
So that's a massive win.
Well, think about this. So you're in the exact same seat that I'm about to talk about. What you're doing right now, you're creating jobs for untold hundreds to thousands of people down the road because companies watch what you're doing. And you've massively scaled a product. You're doing it totally your way, like it's authentically yours. Everything's yours. So you've got pop. You got proof of performance. There's no questioning whether this works. There will be companies. There will be private equity firms. There'll be huge money that gets redirected towards trying to duplicate what you're doing and giving people jobs and putting them behind microphones they otherwise wouldn't have been behind. Now, at that point, they either sink or swim on their own, but you created an opportunity for someone. I was thinking that, like, I still think that today, but I was thinking that, okay, CBS has kind of made me the test pilot program. Like, big networks 5 years ago, they're not really in the business of going and finding some guy on YouTube and putting him in their chair. They're in the business of, we're going to find someone who's already proven, or we're going to take former players, coaches. Like, it's a really tried and true formula. We've done this for 100 years. So I get my shot. I'm thinking, yeah, this is big for me. But there are like 100, 200, 500 other guys out there who may or may not ever get a life-changing opportunity based on whether I make this work or not. Mm-hmm. And that was a really huge deal. Like, that's part of legacy. That's part of something that extends well beyond yourself. And yeah. I think about that stuff every day.
COVID is such an interesting time because I feel like the media changed in so many ways. You're bringing up the suits earlier. And like, I was with CA as my agents for football. And I went to LA. I saw like their Death Star. That's what they call it. And in the music department, nobody wears suits. Yep. Because at one point in like the 60s, 70s, or 80s, whenever it was, a band came in that everyone wanted to rep. They came into CA and they were like, you guys are all suits. We can't trust you guys, blah, blah, blah. You guys don't know the brand. You don't know the influence. You're going to try to change us. The next day, they had a meeting, a company-wide meeting saying, no one wears suits in the music department anymore because we need these people to know that we're here for them. And then you go fast forward to 2020. You see Pat McAfee start taking off. You see these other podcasts start taking off. You're taking off. It feels to me like the suits of the mainstream society, of mainstream sports media is slowly going away, and the Pat McAfee tank top kind of process is now taking over a little bit. Do you see that happening with ESPN, CBS, and all these other major corporations in the future?
100%. McAfee's like Roger Bannister, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Roger Bannister, up until the point he ran the sub 4-minute mile, lived in a world where people thought, oh, it's humanly impossible.
Yeah.
So up until McAfee gets put on ESPN, even when he was independent, people would have told you, oh, you can't do that stuff on ESPN, though. Well, you always could. It's just someone had to do it. Because once Roger Bannister ran the sub 4-minute mile, then a bunch of other people ran a sub 4-minute mile.
It was like
50 people.
Yeah, it was like 70 the next year where it broke 4 minutes.
Question becomes, did they all just become capable of doing it because Roger did it? Or were a bunch of people capable of it and just had to see it happen? So similarly, like you've got to be an idiot to not have known that all the while, sports fans who are consuming content are sitting at home looking a whole lot more like that than they are wearing a suit.
They probably don't look that good. That's a
Maybe
very
not.
nice photo.
Maybe the
of
guy
Pat
back there
McAfee.
holding the Bo Nix sign. But
Yeah.
But like the point is, again, who are you stacking your show for?
Right.
For a long time, suits, if you want to call them that, just people at the executive level, people with 7-figure earnings and golden parachutes if they fail, they have formatted their content for themselves in lieu of knowing it doesn't matter what we present. They'll consume it because there are no other options. Well, bad news for them when digital media came of age is, well, now there are options. Fully on-demand world. That's the beauty of what you do. It's the beauty of what I do. The audience is in full control. Like you have never accidentally gotten a viewer. Every viewer has intentionally sought out your video, sought out your social feeds, sought out your podcast. Same with me. If you're on network TV, you may see me because you're in an airport. You may just see me because you're in a barbershop. I happen to be on. And so for a long time, they didn't really have true feedback. What they were doing was working because there was no competition in the marketplace. Now there's competition in the marketplace, and magically you're willing to bend on things like on-air wardrobe. And, you know, people who don't watch sports may say, do you really think that's why Pat McAfee works because of what he wears? No, what he wears is authentic to himself. And that's why it works. The same as you, the same as me. It's just that 15 years ago, you weren't allowed to present it that way because someone who really didn't know the audience, but owned the keys to the audience, controlled that. And now they don't. And you find out it really never mattered what you wore on air to begin with.
Yeah.
Great reminder for everybody tuning in right now to subscribe to Bussin with the Boys as you are watching and consuming.
Yeah.
You don't have to exert
As you
energy.
listen to these
You don't have to
bars
run a
being
4-minute
put down.
mile. Just take your thumb, hit that subscribe button.
Just hit the button.
I
That's
love
all
that you
gotta
brought
do.
up the Roger Bannister analogy. I feel like I heard that from Tony Robbins, like back in college.
Yeah.
God, I
feel
got
like
to pee
he's big
so
on telling.
bad.
Go
I
take a
wanna
piss,
keep
buddy.
listening. I'm enjoying it so much.
I will say he had to pee last night on his show, and he had about an hour left, but he was going to fight through for the betterment of the audience.
Dude, I pushed.
Just
Then we'll push.
I was just gonna.
Hey, you know
just
what?
gonna put
Give me
that
a
out
water.
there.
Give me a water
just to
as
let
well.
you know I consumed your
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, you did. That was before or after the Nebraska prediction? I feel like that
believe
was after.
No, that was before.
It was before? Okay.
So I was, not to flex, but I was in my weight room at that point. When I was
Is now the time to get into football, or should we kind of save that for the locker room? Because Pate's going to be on every week during the football season.
But there'll be
for college
some
football.
things that we can, some headlines we can talk
Right.
about. But for everybody watching, our new show, The Locker Room with College Football, with this trio right here, this three-headed monster, will kick off Wednesday evening, where we will be going over all of our futures for the college.
I feel like it's
football.
worth the clap.
Worth
Yeah,
the
it's
clap, worth the
absolutely
clap.
Absolutely. Oh,
Hey.
hey, my water just got here.
Hey, people didn't see this coming.
No, they didn't.
Haters are swinging at the air right now.
Dude, they're
God damn
scrambling.
it, they did it again.
Yeah,
They're scrambling.
they're scrambling
Scrambling.
right now. Is there? I like, dude. I've enjoyed all of this conversation, and I fucking love your thought process. And I wanted to interrupt you, but I feel like everything you explained about what you were feeling to when you were getting up in the big leagues, the CBS, the am I who I say I am, all of those feelings, all of those processes right there is what we were explaining. Is I feel like a similar experience that you're explaining walking out into a college stadium or an NFL stadium without just the theatrics and the adrenaline dump. Aside from the adrenaline dump and everything else, that thought process of caring so fucking much about what you do and how hard you work at it and having so much perspective on how you got where you are. And hey, am I who I think I am? There's some I don't knows and some question marks, but I'm willing to jump and go after it with competition, with everything else around. That right there is a mentality that gives, I feel like, like the anxieties of everything you do, whether you walk out into a stadium or you're just elevating at your next job or going into your big leagues. So without the stage and everything else, I feel like that is a very similar feeling that every competitor has when like walking out into the arena.
That's
Well
the
said.
that's the competition. Like it's not do I get more views than the other dude. That's how I think you define competition.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, everything you were kind of walking through when you got that call, am I this? I'm going to be in. Am I going to own the room? Am I going to feel this way? Can I put my ego at the door because I'm going to be lined up across from so-and-so, or I'm going to be talking on the desk with so-and-so? I feel like all of it is the same mentality because you care so much about your success or your version of success in your world. So I feel like that is the bridging of the gap between the normal person and them seeing somebody at some high level doing it. It's like, no, yours can be there too. It's just how much you're pouring into that process. And when that big break does come, just know that is the feeling that everybody feels of jumping into something they're very uncomfortable about.
When the big break happens, the awesome thing is when you get wired that way, the big break is when you're a kid, you envision it, whatever is going to come of your life. When the big things happen, there's confetti, there's parties, there's slaps on the back. And then when you actually wire yourself the way you have to be wired to even get the break, you're wired in such a way where you celebrate for 10 minutes.
Yes.
And you just, next.
Yeah, because it's not like,
Yeah.
unless you're selling a company and retiring.
That's it. That's the difference.
Once you get the big break, whether it's financially or you've
I
achieved
played
something
one
you wanted to
snap
get.
in the NFL.
I played one snap in the NFL. It's like you can celebrate. That is a perfect example. You can celebrate for 5 seconds because then there's the second snap coming right there.
Yeah.
But like you get the job you wanted, you get someone's like, hey, you can do this now. You get more money, whatever it is. That's exciting. But then now the work actually has to come in to prove whoever gave you the opportunity right. And that's where it's like you really have no time to go and sit there and be like, look how great I am. It's like you truly have to be on to the next thing. Then it's the whole, when do you reflect, when you look in the rearview mirror and be like, okay, I was able to achieve all this. But then if you do that for too long, now you're losing what's in front of you. It's a very interesting game of balance that needs to take place because there always has to be gratitude. But if you're wired the way we are, it's like, okay, what is the next step towards the end goal, which truly we don't know, which is actually dying. Like you just eventually die, and it's like, how do you do?
That's why I also appreciate.
You get up there, and he pulls out the scroll, and he's like,
"Let's take a look."
Hey, not bad, not bad. Could have done better here, though.
Yeah,
you know.
That's why I also appreciated going over the parts where you've said no to a lot of people or said no to some things, because I think another thing that successful people or achievers have a hard time doing of getting the goalpost to stop moving. When you know what I am doing is enough, and I know, hey. Not that you're relaxed, I'm just going to be doing this forever, but this doesn't necessarily tie to what I want to do with my audience or what I want to do in the future. And you're able to say no to those people, which probably does make you more valuable, because I'm sure those numbers go up and they're trying to dangle a bigger carrot. One day there'll probably be a carrot to where you can't say no to.
It's a big ass carrot.
Maybe it's the commissioner of college football.
Yeah, or maybe you just grow the garden.
Maybe you just grow the garden.
Hey.
Yeah. Maybe we feed everybody.
Hey, I like that.
Hey,
maybe you just grow the garden.
I saw one, I want to say it was like a stoic meditation. It was like, he who chases 2 rabbits stays hungry. Why not grow the carrots?
Sounds easy. Sounds easy.
Yeah. Sounds easy in theory.
Sounds easy.
You know what? Let's just stop chasing rabbits. Let's just grow the garden.
You know, they have like, when you turn down opportunities though, there is almost like who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Like the audacity.
Yeah. How could you say no to us?
And it's like, well, I mean, do you understand the concept of alignment?
Yeah.
Do you understand the concept of like how that works? I mean, would you put this show on your network? No. Why not? Well, because it doesn't fit our network. You just described why I'm telling you no.
Right.
No hard feelings. Like, that's just why I'm telling you no.
Yeah. But the person who wants to put the square peg in the round hole, dude, it's very difficult when you don't have a whole lot and you're just constantly wanting success and you think more is better as opposed to quality over quantity.
Yeah.
So it's a game, man. It's a game of knowing who you are. And if somebody like you who doesn't know who they are as much as they do, it's like you probably fall into that trap more times than once.
If you're listening right now, okay, if you're watching this right now,
Subscribe.
that's subscribe. Absolutely subscribe.
Subscribe.
Okay, what are you doing here if you haven't?
Yeah.
This is the simplest question. Ask yourself, who am I?
Mm.
This is a mind bender for a lot of people, because they'll give you their name, or they'll give you their skin color or their height and weight or their hometown. That's not who you are. That's the stuff on your driver's license. Who are you? Like, dig the dagger into your chest, cut yourself open. Who are you? What are your talents? What are your passions? What are your likes and dislikes? What are you cut out to do? Like, what is your purpose? All that stuff. If you asked me that at 23, I would have just stammered.
Mhm.
I know that someone asked me this. I didn't have the answer. It's the same dude who asked me, why would anyone care what you have to say? He asked me, who are you? I didn't know how to answer that. Why would anyone care what you have to say? I didn't know how to answer that, which just meant I wasn't ready yet, which just meant you got years that you still have to put in. Didn't want to hear that at the time. I didn't accept it at the time, but it was a reality at the time. So it doesn't matter if you want to get in media or you want to build a trucking company. Like, who are you? How are you about to go anywhere? How are you about to build anything before you've even laid the foundation? That stuff, it messed me up. When the guy asked me that, those two questions, it messed me up so much. And now, like years later, I ask that to everybody. When I speak at colleges and stuff, I ask that to everybody.
Quick break from the episode because we are brought to you by Neutral Vodka Seltzer. Have you tried Neutral? If not, you are missing out. Neutral is so much better than any other seltzer that I've tried. It's made with real vodka and real juice. That's what makes it delicious. And Neutral comes in a variety of flavors like pineapple, watermelon, or their new flavors, lime and strawberry. And Neutral is the perfect drink to bring when hanging with friends because it is such a crowd pleaser. Whether you're watching the game at a bar, in the backyard with friends, at a tailgate, doesn't matter the occasion, bring Neutral. Neutral. Keep it tasty. Back to the episode.
On the topic of who people are, who are the Nebraska Cornhuskers going to be this year?
So I feel like we're close enough to the season where a lot of people are going to start getting on the whole, ooh, I just did my research. It looks like Matt Rule in year 3 is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've been saying that for a long time.
Will's been saying that
Yeah.
since the minute he was hired. It's like year 3 is the year.
I don't think that those people know that even Holgerson is the offensive coordinator.
Right.
I don't think most people know that. I don't think most people
JP knows.
understand. Yes.
JP knows Holgerson.
Just so I've got Dylan here. I've got Dana Holgerson here, and I just feel like that's about to happen this year. And even though they lost Tony to Florida State, which is a move I still question, by the way, even though they lost him to Florida State, I feel like the defensive personnel will be good enough that the scaling of offensive production combined with what I think is the most workable Big Ten schedule in the entire conference, there's such a path to 10-2, and I think 10-2 gets them in. The question is,
Oh, God.
the question is, who's ready not to follow that prediction, but like, is anyone ready to top that prediction? That's what I came here to find out this morning / early afternoon.
Hey, time out now. Just for a little context on Josh Pate starting the bar at 10-2.
Mm-hmm.
You were at 8 wins not too long ago.
No, it was 9-3. It was 9-3.
It was 9-3.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Let me
Here's what
pull out the
happened.
receipts.
It happened a little over a month ago.
And nothing
You
in
put
July
Nebraska
matters.
at 9-3.
Yeah, July's vacation month. No one cares
Vacation.
what happens in July. August is rubber to the road.
Yeah. Fart in the wind.
Yeah. Influences from around the neighborhood have pushed me to 10 wins.
I think it was 9-3. Losses coming from Ohio State, USC, and Michigan.
Someone go wake Compton up. William? Nebraska, I am ready to predict. I am ready to back with my own money that Nebraska will be better than 6-6 this year.
I mean, yeah.
My fault.
Could be 7 wins, could be 12 wins.
Yeah.
As it turns out, it's 10 wins. Look, if you don't believe in Nebraska
Better
more
than
me,
hey, because he was trying to he shot me that clip being like, they never notice when you toss love out. Shame. I said, better than 6-6 is love to you, Josh. He said that could mean 12-0. I said it could also mean 7-5.
Which is a floor for Nebraska this year.
Yeah, you think so?
I think that is if you're a logical fan, if you end the season at 7-5, you think we've gotten better. We've gotten better.
Yeah.
How does that 7-5 look? I think that determines a lot of things. You can't be like getting blown out 5 times, but having small wins. But if you go 7-5 after not making a bowl game since 2015 until 2024, you need to be proud of what your program is putting out there.
Do we agree with that?
No.
Who's we?
Because
nobody
who's we?
really does. But hang on, before we go any farther, do you have Nebraska pegged at 7-5 this year?
That's a tough question. Let me have this conversation, and then I'll give you my answer.
Because he's also trying to speak for logical Nebraska fans, which he knows absolutely nothing about.
I am trying to speak for logical fandom.
Right, people, casuals who don't really follow Nebraska ball.
So the under
If you're
hits,
just on the outside looking in.
I think the more you look into Nebraska football, the more you'd be like, yeah, they should be proud of 7-5.
And to follow up on your 10-2 now, where you were, I replied to you and said 8+ are my foxhole guys. Those are the guys buying stock. Those are the guys that understand what's going on in the kitchen of Nebraska football. Are they Willie C 10+ win level optimism battling for a college football playoff spot? No, very few are. Very few have that kind of courage. But the ones seeing the field with 8+ are the ones I'm ready to go to war with. You said I can do 8. By August, I could see myself flirting with the 9s. Now we're at 10 and you're saying, is anybody crazy enough to top 10?
I'm not saying is anyone crazy enough. I'm asking, does anyone believe in Nebraska more than me?
Is there
You're sharing the bus with them. You're sharing a college football show with them.
11?
I can see us going 11-1. Yes.
Okay.
You want to go over? You want me to go over to the schedule?
I'd love this because it's all on record. So yes, I'd love this. This is my Christmas present to myself in December.
Right. So I have us at 10-2, but I believe easily that we can go 11-1.
Okay.
At least.
Before Will starts, I have to deal with this 4 times a year, starting middle of January. It's probably the first time this happens. Then it'll be like April, then June, July, and then right before the season. Go ahead.
I don't feel like I shoved Nebraska football down your throat like I could. Been calm, cool, calm, collected, because I know what's brewing. But I digress. Nebraska, Cincinnati. That's one where we set the tone for the season.
Yep.
That's 1-0. Akron, 2-0. HCU, School of the Blind.
HCU's what?
Was that Houston Christian University?
Never heard of her. All right, so that's 3-0.
That's 3-0.
Yeah, okay.
Michigan, I got us taking down Michigan. To me, that's the game where it's like, who the fuck are we gonna be this year?
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
And I think in Lincoln, Nebraska beats Michigan. Michigan State, I think we win. And here's where I have our first loss. Either at Maryland or at Minnesota. Not because they are better than us. We are the more superior team. I think when you start to get, can you scroll, what is that, 6-0 before Maryland?
That's 6-0, yeah.
We're in uncharted territories where you don't know how we're going to handle this success, because the moment we beat the Wolverines, we're going to be catapulted up. You're going to be on your show talking about the power rankings, how we're going to be like a top 10 school.
You got a bye week, though.
You're talking about before?
No, after you beat Michigan thoroughly, you got a bye week.
But that's what I'm saying. You're going through this world of Roulade and Kool-Aid to where, how are the boys going to handle this? And this could be a challenging clip, because I know when we are 6-0 and we're going to go out to Maryland or the Fleck Bank in Minnesota, everybody knows how weird that gets out there, but he runs a solid program. I could see us dropping one because we've gotten too big for our britches, which honestly is great timing, because then you beat the piss out of Northwestern and those nerds, and then you host USC at Nebraska. And USC is a good team this year. And I think we need all the fucking piss and vinegar we need. I would rather have us sitting at that, 7-1, 8-1, with USC coming in with that little ego check than being absolutely undefeated up until USC comes in, because I think USC is going to be a tough team. And we would have whooped their ass if the ref would have thrown a flag last year on that pass interference call late in the game. We beat USC. We handle UCLA because they fucking beat us last year at our home spot, and they should not have beat us. And I think we're going to get a bad taste out of our mouths with UCLA. We're going to be motivated. Then you go in. That's going to be, look, if we're undefeated at Penn State or one lost team at Penn State, we're talking all of it. Big noon kickoff, college game day. What's your fall tour called?
The Fall Don't Lie Tour.
The Fall Don't Lie Tour. What's going to be our squad? The Boys of the Fall Tour is going to be there. Everyone's going to be.
Well, we're not going to 3 Nebraska games this year.
At Penn State.
Whiteout.
For probably a whiteout.
1v2.
1v2. We dropped that one against Penn State. That's where I'll take my realism. You know where I'm riding. I got us 12-0 personally. But if I'm going to have some realism in this take, we drop against Penn State. That's where I see us being a 2-loss team. Then we handle and beat the absolute shit out of fucking the Iowa Hawkeyes because we need it. You want to know the last time? You know the last time they won or we won at home against Iowa? 2011 when Willie C was operating. Iowa comes to Nebraska. We close that one out at home. And we go 10-2 on the outside looking in, because I think it's going to be Penn State, Oregon in the Big Ten championship. And we're going to be positioned beautifully for the college football playoff. That's my season of Nebraska.
Where's
football.
Clout? Are you right there? All right. So have you seen the movie Tremors before?
Oh, great movie.
Great movie. Yeah. So you just
stand on some
you
shit.
just a lead
Watch
role
out
in it.
now.
So
Yeah.
you just played the worm. That's basically what you played. What I wanted to do And I told Klump this. What I wanted to do is plant my flag early today. I came in with strategy. And what I wanted to do is at the end of that movie, when they throw the dynamite stick behind the worm to piss it off and get it to go hard at the edge of the cliff, and then he just tunnels through the edge of the cliff and it flies down to the bottom, it splatters all over the place. I either want you to be a legend to end all legends and this to happen, or I am playing this on loop in December. Because no one will remember my busted 10-2 prediction once you've just done this for the past 5 minutes. But I'm with you. I agree with you with the Penn State Oregon. I agree with you that Nebraska is positioned well. I didn't like sweat like a Baptist preacher and yell emphatically when I said it. So like I've got no lose situation here, I feel like. Either they come through, which we're all happy, almost all of us are happy, or they don't, and then you're the face of it.
I can live in that world.
Yeah.
I've been in that world. But I'll tell you this, I've never been more confident than I am this year.
I think they can do it. I think they can do it.
He's
Thank
right.
you, JP. JP knows what I'm talking about.
Beautifully said.
How do you feel about that?
I like 10-2. That's what I have them going. 10-2. College football playoff team.
Where do you see the drops? Where do you see the losses on that schedule?
One of Ohio. So, no, one of USC, Penn State, and then another random, like you said. Isn't that what you said?
That's 9-3.
No. One of USC or Penn State.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a random
No.
So we drop against USC. You guys going into Penn State.
One of Michigan. There's no skill in this. 10-2. That's what they're doing. They're going 10-2.
There is some skill in this.
You think they beat Michigan?
I'd pick them to beat Michigan right now.
Why?
I think they're going to be a better football team than Michigan.
Why?
This is just stalling.
No,
for time.
this is honestly September 21st when things go my way. I'm gonna have a hell of a time on the show with
That's
you guys.
fine. So I feel like if the game were in November, I got almost a full year of Bryce Underwood. I'd feel a little bit better. But he will have already gone into Oklahoma, so it's not like going on the road is going to be foreign to him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like the way the game profile is better for him. I should have brought my laptop in here. I could have modeled the whole
You don't
thing.
like Wink Martindale?
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
How could you not?
It's
I've
fantastic.
watched what he's done.
Yeah.
You're going to put Raiola in a blender, aren't you?
Taylor doesn't like how much he blitzes.
1913 kind of game?
I didn't like how much he blitzed in the beginning of the year last year. I thought it was a little too chaotic, a little too crazy. I think he listens to the show. I think he got a whole lot better, a whole lot more tactical with the way he handled his exotic blitzes. He does a great job of hiding the shell. He does a great job of not letting you know where it's coming from, but he really fine-tuned it going in the back half of the year. Obviously, we had the forward pass turned off last year. So it's very hard to evaluate where Michigan is. I know we ended with beating Ohio State and beating Alabama. So that's a pretty good ending for a team that couldn't throw the ball at all. I think we had 110 yards throwing in both of those games combined. It's incredible. Yeah. We go there in the spring. A lot of conversation obviously revolving around Bryce Underwood. Everyone really likes him. We got to see him play. I thought he was really impressive other than the one interception he had to Nico. But a lot of guys are talking about the defense, how they're actually going to be better, even though they've lost the two guys in the middle.
I've heard that.
And I
got to see it.
I mean, they played more than half the year without Will Johnson, their number one corner. They had a kind of a revolving door. They lost their safety to an ACL. He'll be back. They have a lot of talent. Michigan, what I think have done it has a really good job of is developing players, taking 3 stars, turning them into that 5-star. I think they've done a better job than probably any other team that I can think of right now. So when I think about if that defense is better, and Bryce Underwood is 75% of what people believe he can be, then I think absolutely they stomp Nebraska. It's a double-digit win.
That's double-digit. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's 10+.
I just think you don't face a ton of offenses that can beat you in multiple ways up there.
Mm-hmm.
And Nebraska, if I'm right about him, if I'm wrong about him, moot point. If I'm right about him, they'll be one of those teams. But so will Oklahoma. So you will have already faced a team, if I'm right about those teams, that are layered enough to beat you in several different ways. Like you don't have one answer for them, in other words.
We'll all have a much better understanding of Michigan after week 2.
After Oklahoma.
After Oklahoma, it's like, do they win? Do they lose? I don't know. But how does the game look? How does all 60 minutes of that game come together? How does Bryce Underwood handle adversity if he gets sacked a couple of times? Because that's the biggest question mark. Raiola, I love where Will's sitting because he's got a guy that you can see getting better and better. I think it's a little disrespectful that I think the top 10 quarterbacks of college football came out and Raiola wasn't in it. I think he's a guy that could be sitting in that 9 or 10 spot right now. But with Bryce, it's like potential. Potential we talked about in the intro of the show. Haven't done shit yet. So I really need to see what he does before I start planting a massive flag in the ground. I think you're never counted out when you're playing when you're with Michigan. Never counted out, especially seeing what they did last year with literally the inability to throw the forward pass. Because their offensive line is going to be a lot better this year. They got 2 running backs that can shove it down your throat. You got wide receivers that are willing to block. And then you got a defense who's hungry and swarms for the ball. Has exotic blitzes that a lot of quarterbacks that don't necessarily know how to pick apart defenses is in college, they're going to be thrown a certain way. They're not going to really know what to do with certain zeros, with the nickel coming when you don't see him coming, flipping the protection, those types of things. Gritty wins.
Again, biggest game of the season. I've
Talking about Nebraska,
I've
Michigan?
just really been talked into the like external dynamics on this thing, feeling like a playoff game.
No, Nebraska.
I'm emotionally invested in it now.
Yes.
I didn't walk into the season emotionally invested in it, but now I'm kind of emotionally invested in it. It's not just another
I thought
game
it'd
for
be
me.
one of your hinge games that you were going over.
Probably.
I started to hit fast forward. Like, man,
It probably should have made that list.
when's he gonna?
Sorry to fast forward me. What are you doing?
It was either going to be Nebraska, Michigan, or Michigan, Oklahoma, because I know you're big on Oklahoma this year too.
Yeah, why is that? Because I heard earlier in the year, everyone's like, Oklahoma's going to have a really down year. They never seem to really get over the hump. This quarterback's supposed to be really good, but we don't know if Oklahoma's actually going to be anything of substance.
Yeah.
Now we're getting closer to the season, and I don't know if it's like a draft stock thing where a guy is a tweet like a late first round, early second, then all of a sudden this guy could possibly be a top 10 pick, and then still ends up going late first round, early second. Like, what is Oklahoma to you? Why is it all of a sudden? Why is their stock rising so much?
Because they were never a fatally flawed team. They were a team with multiple top 10 classes stacked on top of each other. They portaled consistently in the top 10. Like last year, their fatal flaw was they horrifically failed at hiring at the OC position. Mm-hmm. And it was oil and water. And Jackson Arnold in that offense was dead on arrival. It was terrible. So it's the season thrown away. And so what people didn't even pay attention to is this isn't a terrible team, not the terrible roster. It's a pretty good to high level roster with fatal flaw in it that makes all the rest of it irrelevant. So then they addressed the fatal flaw part 1. They brought in OC and quarterback from the same place. Utah did the same thing, by the way. People aren't paying attention to that. So Mateer comes in with his OC. The second thing they did was they attacked the portal, the one area they needed to attack the portal, which was wide receiver. So they get a kid named Deion Burks back, who should have been a star last year, transfer from Purdue, but he was hurt. So he's back this year, dog. Then the rest of the wide receiver room, I think not only is filled out, but it's really complimentary. It's not like 5 of the same dudes. So the one question I have about them that I'll be watching early in the season, specifically when they get tested against Michigan, is are they as improved on the offensive line as they think? Because that was a real liability for them. They had like 10 different starting rotations last year in the first 10 weeks. If that's in place, I've actually got very little doubt about Mateer. I don't question him. Like, I think he could contend for a Heisman Trophy. So I think he's going to play at that high level. Defense, conservatively top 15 unit, could be better than that. I just think people who are shocked when Oklahoma's good this year didn't really watch Oklahoma last year. They know the quarterback sucked or the quarterback offensive coordinator combo sucked. And the rest of it, they just kind of tuned out. They watched it from 50,000 feet.
I watched them against South Carolina.
Yeah, that was a bad day.
Belt to ass.
That was a bad day.
Belt to ass.
That was the week after Carolina goes into Tuscaloosa and loses.
I know. They should have won that game, too. We were in Oregon.
Yeah. They go in there and lose. And Beamer, after his press conference, he said, you know what? This is enough. It's just enough. And they go out to Oklahoma the next week. I think it was 3 pick sixes they had. They had 21.
Nuts.
They had 21 on the board and not an offensive point to speak of.
Just crazy.
Yeah.
You brought up a team, and it is in your favorite conference, the Big 12, Utah. Not a lot of people talking about Utah. You think ASU takes? Well, I don't want to get into futures because we'll talk about futures on the show. I'll say right now I like ASU, but talk to me about Utah.
Well, Utah, everyone watched Whittingham win double-digit games forever. And then he had a down year last year. Mm-hmm. And people just, I don't know, I said this on our show last night. I feel like people have made an effort to forget about Utah after one down year. It's the Big 12. There's not a lot of difference in 10-2 and 5-7. It's like a bunch of one-possession games. Bounce a ball goes against you. Injury for them went against them last year. So everyone's talking about Oklahoma going and getting a quarterback OC combo from the same school. They did that. They went and got a kid named Devon Dampier out of New Mexico and brought in Beck, his offensive coordinator. So they basically imported an offense, and you don't have a quarterback learning on the fly. Elsewhere, it's still Utah. Like the roster is still Utah. They could take a stone and squeeze it and they get drops of water out of it. So they get every possible ounce of potential out of a roster. They always have. So either I'm supposed to believe Whittingham's entire career, or I'm supposed to believe last year's the new Utah. And I don't believe last year's the new Utah because it's not like NIL and the portal has sunk its teeth into the Big 12.
Yeah.
In the SEC and the Big 10, they're fundamentally different conferences because of it. The Big 12, no one outside of Texas Tech, no one's spending a ton of money. Like no one's got huge roster churn. No one's got huge staff turnover. So the conference pretty much is what it was. Texas Tech's the one exception, and I think they'll be a contender this year. But you look at, if you go to FanDuel right now and you look at the odds to win the Big 12, they don't look like any other conference. Every other conference has got a couple pretty high-level favorites. Then there's some drop-off, tier 2, drop-off, tier 3. Kansas State, Utah, Texas Tech, Arizona State, Baylor, TCU, they have pretty much identical odds.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to go to the show me more function before you ever got down to someone who's plus 1,500 odds or lower. So that's the Big 12. Even FanDuel's saying, yeah, we just threw these numbers out there. Like, go ahead, take your pick. If you think you know this conference better than we do. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're 8 teams deep before you get to plus 1,500 odds. And that plus 1,500 is Kansas, who with a healthy Jalen Daniels could win the conference this year. They don't play their games in Arrowhead this year, by the way.
I love the Big 12.
Yeah, they actually have a home campus stadium again this year. Yeah.
All right, Sherm.
You know Sherm's fired up about the Big 12 talk.
You brought up the NIL. Ever since NIL took over, you see a massive jump in the Big 10 and national championships. Is that proof that the SEC was paying their players before NIL?
No, the proof of the SEC paying players is that the SEC was paying their players. Like, it didn't need to be. People look at this as like a one-track sort of scenario. Like, yeah, NIL came along. Here's what else happened. Nick Saban retired from Alabama. Like, Saban retiring in any era was going to fundamentally impact the death grip that the SEC had on college football, because it wasn't the SEC that had a death grip. It was Alabama that had a death grip on college football, led by Nick Saban. We did our SEC preview on our show last night. And for all the talk about the depth and competitive balance, 10 of the last 11 SEC championships were either won by Bama or Georgia. There's one exception. That's Burrow and LSU in 2019.
Right.
Okay, so he retires. You could come back at me and say, but what if I told you he retired because of the way NIL was impacting the sport? You could have some validity there. I don't doubt that. But the point remains, if the NIL thing never changed and Saban retired, that would have fundamentally changed the SEC. It would have fundamentally changed college football. It just so happens that a lot of that stuff overlap. Like, also somebody would come at me and say, hey man, the expanded playoff, that's what's changed everything. Like, no, it hasn't. Nick Saban retiring was a bombshell. It was like an asteroid into the ocean of college football. So you really do believe the guy was the greatest of all time and acknowledge what I'm saying has to be true, or you think he was a fraud. Because you can't think he was the greatest of all time but not acknowledge his retirement had to be a huge, like, monumental change to the sport.
Wasn't he public about NIL as one of the bigger reasons why he retired, though?
Yeah, no, I don't, like, I've listened to him talk about it on and off the record.
Mm-hmm.
It was absolutely a reason he retired. But I would follow up with this. Let's say he chose to stay at Alabama. Does anyone really think Alabama was going to fall off a cliff? Like, they were still going to compete. They weren't going to have 3 deep of future first-round NFL talent. No one does. Kirby doesn't. Ryan Day doesn't. No one does. But that dude always found a way. COVID came around. Dude just pivoted on a dime. They dominated that year. That dude ran 3 different totally unique versions of offense in his time at Alabama. Like, they won with Tua. They won with Derrick Henry. They won with John Parker Wilson and Greg McElroy at quarterback. They won with Bryce Young at quarterback. They won with 260-pound middle linebackers. They won with Rashaan Evans at Mike. They did all kinds of different things. So at every turn of his career, he adjusted. He would have adjusted to this. It's just he looked at it and said, I'm not sure that's the version of the game I want to coach anymore. Also, I'm in my 70s, and I can go work at ESPN and get a raise to talk about football instead of just coaching it anymore.
He is
Great
very
points.
aggressive. It's a good point about the SEC, but like Alabama having a chokehold on the SEC, if Alabama is no longer there, does Georgia and LSU and all these other top tier SEC schools, do they go and win the national championship?
You're talking about if they had
This is
that?
a if, like, right, we're taking Alabama off the face of the earth.
Or just making them another pretty good program.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know. I go back and think about, like, the Mark Richt Georgia teams, the Les Miles LSU teams. Those teams, those guys' legacies were fundamentally changed because of Nick Saban. If Saban's not at the SEC, First off, Urban probably stays at Florida longer than he did, and he may rattle off 3 or 4 titles. But Mark Richt probably wins one at Georgia. Les Miles, if not for Alabama, he's got the best team in the league most years in those early 20 teens sort of period. So I think back about a number of guys and how, I mean, you can't prove it. You can't prove a counterfactual, but you never know, like, whose career would have taken off. Because then if Saban doesn't take off at Alabama, what's Kirby Smart?
Kirby? Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah.
You feel like Alabama, the way, remind me of the head coach, Utah again?
Kyle Whittingham.
You feel like DeBoer is in a similar situation, or it's like the feeling around Bama is Alabama has a down year, and all we've done is watch DeBoer double-digit wins throughout his entire career?
To a certain extent, yes. I think the difference with that is there's a huge portion of the public that actively wants Alabama to lose. I don't think there's a large portion of the public that hates Utah. They just don't really, they're indifferent. So they've chosen, like, I think it's a lot easier to root for Kenny Dillingham. Like, Kenny's an awesome dude.
Right.
It's
awesome
it's really fun to say, like, I love what they got going on at Arizona State, or I love Iowa State. I love the colors. The mascot's a tornado. They check all the boxes for me. Texas Tech just spent a ton in NIL, so it's a lot more flashy to root for them. Utah's really meat and potatoes, which doesn't really sell. It's not all that sexy. So I think that people have forgotten about maybe them just because Utah was never at the forefront of their mind. Utah had to elbow their way into your line of sight every year. No one ever focuses on Utah. They make you focus on them. At Alabama, I mean, there are 100 different reasons why people want DeBoer to fail, unless you're a Bama fan. Most of America wants him to fail. They want Bama to fail. Think about, at any given point, like you said, when Saban's at Alabama, your one ray of hope in the SEC is this dude's a little bit older, so he's going to retire eventually.
Yeah. And
you always told yourself Bama was bad before he got there. So it hasn't been a Bama thing. It's been a Saban thing. And once he leaves, Bama will revert back. Plus, there's going to be a whole generation of entitled fans who don't know reality. They don't know what losing's like. They'll be paranoid. They'll run the next coach out of town. The biggest nightmare, yeah, for any non-SEC fan or non-Bama fan, if we clip this later here, I'll just do this cleanly. The biggest nightmare for any non-Bama fan has been Saban era ends, you breathe a sigh of relief, and somehow they find a replacement that meets that standard again. Because it's not supposed to be possible.
Right.
So if he comes in there and wins, and DeBoer's, in like his early 50s or something like that, then what do you do?
You got 20 more years of hell.
I was down there. Dude, I was down there over the weekend. I went and watched them scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the more physical scrimmages I've ever seen.
They're built different.
Dude, they got after it.
Different group of cats.
They got after it. It was more physical than a lot of the games you go to in the fall.
Yeah. Which brings you back to Michigan. Michigan beat them 2 times in a row. Physical ball club.
Yeah.
I'm
not like an Alabama hater.
Wait, have you?
I feel like Alabama hasn't been like, people talk about Georgia. Like, I feel like they're not in the conversation
as much.
And they went 9-3 last year. And I feel like just understanding, what happens when you're just absolutely superior and a coach has a, not up to expectation year, then it's like if they had another 9-3 year, God forbid 8-4, it's like, are they going to be calling for DeBoer?
No, they would.
Right.
They would. There's no doubt about that. It's you can think whatever you want to about it, but you don't get to take over that job at the level it was handed off to him and have 2 down years. The thing about replacing a legend, I sat in his office and talked to him about this for like 2 hours in the spring. He's absolutely wired the way you have to be wired to work at Alabama post Saban, because he doesn't care about the whole no one wants to take over after a legend. What he cared about is everything operational at the level it needs to be? Because if it is, like, he would never say this, but here's how he thinks, because a 1%er thinks this way. They know Saban was great, but a 1%er looks in the mirror every morning and says, I'm pretty good too. Like, I think I'm really good too. I think I may be the best in the game too. And if I'm being given what I need to win, I'm going to win. I don't care who was the boss here before I was. The trade-off on that, the reason it's really so hard to replace a legend is because it's hard to win at a high level, period. But especially, like, if you look at the legends in college football, very few of them retired at their apex. Most of them hung around several years too long. So you were taking over a program that was trending downwards, but the expectations were still sky high and no one had time for a rebuild. No one wanted to listen to you say, I just took over for a legend, but we got to start from scratch. Well, DeBoer walked in. I mean, Saban had just gone to the playoffs in overtime against Michigan. Like, that's when he said, all right, I'm out. So they got a loaded roster. Administratively, like, they're about as good as anyone, got one of the best ADs in the country. So, like, organizationally, everything's where you need it. He hands them a world-class recruiting and personnel department. They kept a lot of those people. A lot of the Saban people are still there. He infused some of his folks, but he wasn't ignorant enough to say, I think I'm just going to bring Washington down to Tuscaloosa. Like, he kept a fair amount of mixture of the two. But you go into year 2 and all that sounds good. Yeah, you got to win. You go 8-4 again. There's no defending that. You play a tough schedule, but yet I watched them Saturday. There aren't many rosters that look like that. There aren't many coaching staffs that are built like that. So 12 Saturdays in the fall, that's when you get judged. It's totally fair.
Get you so juiced up for this year.
It does. Quick break from the episode. A question for you. What do you want to keep safe? Maybe it's your family, your kids, that new car in the garage. Traditional security systems only take action after someone has already broken in, and that's too late. Simply Safe is setting the new standard in home security. With Active Guard outdoor protection, Simply Safe's monitoring agents can help prevent break-ins before they happen. All because they have AI-powered cameras backed by live professional monitoring agents that monitor your property and detect suspicious activity. If someone's lurking around or acting suspiciously, those agents see and talk to them in real time, activate spotlights, and even contact the police, helping to proactively deter threats before they can escalate into a crisis. You can get 50% off. Boys, let me say it again. You can get 50% off your new Simply Safe system with professional monitoring and your first month free at simplysafe.com/bussin. Again, that's simplysafe.com/bussin. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
Let me do a little scouting on my enemy.
Okay.
Ohio State. They're not all that, are they? Think about their defense. They lose.
I'm having
everybody
trouble.
except for 2.
Yeah.
I mean, they're obviously going to reload completely at the wide receiver position there. Wide receiver U, essentially. Quarterback unproven. Ryan Day. Yippee.
Wait, what does that mean?
Yippee.
What
It's a
is
little
that?
yip. You know the yips?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I thought
it's
you
a
were doing
little
some weird
yips.
celebration for him.
No.
Okay.
Yippee. No,
Yeah.
he yips versus Michigan. Like, talk to me. How are we feeling about Columbus?
All right. It's ironic they open against Texas because the 2 teams that I'm having trouble with are Texas and Ohio State, only because them replacing production is not like a normal team replacing production. Because when you go watch them practice, like when I go watch teams practice, I will stand with a player personnel guy who knows the roster entirely. And all I'll do is say, who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Give me his story. Give me his story. And I'll ask about 2s. I don't ask about the starters. You know the starters. I'll ask about 2s and 3s. And at Texas and Ohio State, it's constantly, yeah, that dude to start everywhere else. Yeah, that guy will be a future first rounder for us. And they're running with the 2s and the 3s. So like, okay, you put that in the back of your mind. And then you know, once they send 13, 14, 15 to the draft, the 2s become the 1s, the 3s become the 2s, yada, yada, yada. You don't know their names, but not every new starter is created equal in the sport. Texas and Ohio State have aliens on their bench. Doesn't mean anything. It doesn't guarantee that they're going to produce, but you just like, there's a benefit of the doubt you bake in. And I've done it with them. I did it with Saban at Bama. I do it with Kirby. I do it with Sark. I do it with Lanning. I'll do it with him too.
Yeah.
To where if you think they're good enough, if they meet the standard it takes to start for you, I trust them. May not be as good as last year's team. Maybe some of those guys' raw talent level is better than last year's team, and the experience level is not there. Those 2 teams, it's so important not to draw definitive conclusions after week 1. Like Penn State, you can draw conclusions after week 1. You've seen all those players. They added some wide receiver help. Let's see what they are at tight end. But largely, like Penn State's going to be who they are. Ohio State and Texas should look a ton different in November. Like when you play them, do you really think Ohio State goes to Ann Arbor last week of November, it's just going to be like a copy and paste of week 1 in Columbus? There's no way that's the case.
No. I mean, there's so many different variables, injuries, all sorts of different things.
Even if they're healthy.
Different jersey.
True. Even if they went wire to wire healthy, which will never happen, I would love to see how different that team looks. In week, what is that, 14 this year? 2 bye weeks? Yeah. I'd love to see how different they look. Not to mention there will be injury.
Always. God. I'm really looking forward to the Texas-Ohio State game. I'm excited, just like every other person is, to see Arch Manning. Is he really what everyone says he is? Seems like he has the right head on his shoulders. You know, he had a little press conference the other day talking about doing shots. He's like, I'm 21, I can do a shot. Like, oh, he's got a little personality to him.
Yep.
He's got that Manning pizzazz. You know, it's just like, is he going to be that guy?
But do you?
That's a lot of pressure.
Do you like what? So if someone were to say, let's do the three of us here. Someone tells you in 10 seconds, give me your expectations for Arch Manning this year. Go.
Great. Heisman candidate.
Go.
Heisman candidate, possible national champion.
I think he's going to be a fringe Heisman candidate. He's going to be a pretty good to really good quarterback. So I stopped short of the whole hyping him up to be elite, hyping him up to be the Heisman favorite, only because people do that all the time to college players. And then it gets to December, and let's say I think Arch is the best quarterback in the country. I pick him to win the Heisman. He's the fourth best quarterback in the country this year.
Right.
What happens in sports media land is no one looks at that kid in December and says, well, he played the way he was going to play. I'm the dude who screwed up. I'm the dude who overhyped him. No one does that. No one ever looks in the mirror. They look at the kid and say, you were a bust.
Right.
But Arch Manning hasn't set an expectation for himself. Arch Manning hasn't made a prediction on himself. People who write for a living or talk for a living have. So like the way I do it with all these new starters is I assume that there's a very high floor for him. But my expectation for him is I think you're going to be pretty good to really good. Anything above and beyond that is just gravy for me. You're playing for Texas. You shouldn't have to be an elite quarterback to win at Texas. If you are, they'll remember you for a long time. You could have an iconic season loading, all that. But I think he's going to be pretty good to really good. I think there'll be inconsistencies. He's human. There's going to be a game randomly where he throws 2 picks before halftime, and people are going to say, Sark, do you have to think about maybe making a change? No, you don't make a change in the third quarter. This is real life.
Yeah.
He's got to go to Columbus, Gainesville, and Athens before they even play OU in Dallas, I think. Like his 4 toughest games are away from Austin. That stuff's not easy.
Right. Kind of a soft take, though, just kind of making it easy, right?
I'm making it easy on him. I'm making it easy on him.
Yeah.
Kind of a cop-out.
What do you guys think?
Pretty good
Heisman,
and above?
Heisman national champion. I think he's going to be good to pretty good.
Good to pretty good.
Anyone
Anything
can
above
say
and beyond that, yeah.
Anyone can say that.
But I picked Mateer to win the Heisman.
Yeah.
You
think he's going to play the whole season without getting suspended?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I'm comfortable. He put a statement out.
Everyone
He put a statement out.
Statements.
I mean, what more can you do?
No, I'm sure he's a good kid, and I'm sure he fucks around and messes with his boys or whatever. But
that hit home for me because I am still on my dad's cell phone plan. I've never gotten off of it. I pay him every month.
I'm
the
same way.
I've never come off my parents' cell phone plan, and I'm nearly 40 years
y'all
old.
need to grow up.
So
I really am still on the family plan.
I pay my dad via Venmo every month. If you were to look at the transaction, if I were inexperienced in life enough to have my transaction history on public, and you saw what I use as the description when I pay my dad for my cell phone bill, you would think we were running a Mexican drug cartel. And all I'm doing is paying my cell phone bill. So we're running a cartel like $115 at a time. But so when he said, look, I've never bet on sports in my life. It's just an inside joke between me and my buddies. He's probably lying, but I got it. I related to it because that's what I do.
He's probably lying, but I got it.
Do we want to before we let Josh Pate go? Do we want to talk about the conclusion of the Michigan Wolverines? You said you wanted to do a little thing on it.
Yeah. I want to know about what you think about my Wolverines. I want to get your true opinion about Bryce Underwood if you've been able to watch him at practice.
I have not been up there.
Oh,
I have not been able to watch him.
Crazy.
So I think he's gonna be pretty good to really good.
You think he's gonna be pretty good to really good?
That's where I think
he seems like a cat to me. Like even sitting here as a Michigan homer, like. The expectation is insane for this kid.
Yeah, he's the one. He's the one guy that could fundamentally he could transform the season for. Because if you think about it, like I think the same thing about Georgia's offensive line, the Michigan quarterback position. If they get A- quarterback play when everyone's expecting question mark or C+ or B-, it fundamentally changes their season and the season downstream of like 10 other teams.
Yeah.
So I haven't been able to watch him though, so I don't know.
Basically, what you're saying is Michigan football.
And everything just revolves around it. Yeah,
football.
That's it.
Did they get a slap on the wrist for the findings? The conclusion
I didn't get
of it
upset
all?
about
the
this.
fine.
I don't think
because I thought what happened was what was going to happen. Look, here's what I'll say: they alleged multiple level 1 violations. When you were a kid, I was a kid. That means hammers dropping on your head, borderline death penalty, multi-year postseason ban. All right, a lot of people out in Ohio State message board world allowed themselves to believe it was still 2003, and it's not. And so my whole philosophy, and I know this because I had a network executive explain it to me. I wasn't just guessing my way through it. They said, do you really think that we are paying billions of dollars to leagues, which are just university presidents? That's what a league is. Those university presidents created the NCAA the same way that NFL owners created Roger Goodell's position so that he can take the heat and take the arrow so the owners don't have to. Well, university presidents created the NCAA and the enforcement arm and the investigation arm and the committee on infractions. They own that. Like, they created it. And that executive said, do you really think we're going to hand billions of dollars to university presidents only for those university presidents to voluntarily have an enforcement arm that punitively punishes one of the assets that we paid for to the point where fewer people watch it? That's not what we're in the business of doing. So they can fine them all they want to. They can give show causes all they want to. They're not getting a postseason ban. That was never on the table. And people built it up in their minds.
Yeah.
And they said, well, look at what happened in previous worlds when level 1 violations were alleged. That's a previous world. Billions were not on the table back then, just merely millions. We're in billions land now. No one gets postseason banned anymore.
Big whale hunting is what we're doing around here. Yeah. So basically what you're saying is a lot of allegations. They did their investigation, realized we don't have a whole lot of footing to stand on.
Yeah.
And so they slapped him with a $20 million fine, aka drop in the bucket, and said, Sharon, you got to suspend yourself for one more game.
And you just choose when it's going to be. This year, next year,
go ahead.
Whatever.
Yeah. But this is us saving face.
I do think yes. Yeah, what you said's right.
Okay.
I think
we don't have to do anymore.
No, I thought they were going to go retracting wins. I thought they were going to try and do. I never believed that matters.
Which, by the way, is the dumbest thing.
No,
ever.
I've never believed it mattered.
It's like Reggie Bush. We took your Heisman.
Yeah,
it's like, did you though?
Did
you take his Heisman? Like, he had his Heisman. He's got a photo with the Heisman. Oh, you don't get the Heisman anymore? Still got the photo.
I said this on my show, and a bunch of people said, "Oh, it matters a lot." I said, "No, it doesn't." I was there. Like, I was there when you won the national championship. I stood there with J.J. McCarthy on TV after the game. You can't tell me all of a sudden from Indianapolis, Indiana at NCAA headquarters, hey, that experience you had, forget it. It didn't happen.
Didn't exist.
So that never mattered to me. That's why I thought they'd do it, because that's all window dressing. That's all aesthetic.
Yeah.
They didn't even do that.
And also, when the microscope finally went on Michigan, it's right before Penn State, Maryland, which I said that year was going to be the hardest game of the year, Ohio State, Alabama, and Washington.
Yep.
So if everyone is watching every single thing you do, let's say you were cheating, let's say all the worst things are real, there's no way to cheat those games. Can't do it.
They also would have never gotten rid of any evidence.
Who, what?
Like, Michigan got rid of all the evidence. Like, they said that something happened, but there was nothing that they could. The manifesto lived out. Like, I'm talking seppuku, gutted himself, threw cell phones in the water. A lot of evidence was
a lot of alleged things happen. But the manifesto, it's like, yeah, sorry, my boy is detail oriented, who is also a Marine, by the way. Show some respect.
Yeah.
So it's like,
you attack Michigan, you attack this country.
You attack Michigan, you attack the Stallions.
Videos.
Like, listen, Michigan didn't do anything wrong.
I feel like how long is
It's just amazing, man. Clearly they did stuff wrong.
Right.
Clearly they did. You don't have to pretend it's a Boy Scout troop up there. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go Scouts Honor. They did stuff wrong. They didn't get popped for it. And it wasn't as wrong as some of the internet claimed it was. Didn't do anything wrong.
Listen, there are rules.
Yes.
Mike Vrabel sits there. He goes, you find the rules, you exploit them, and you to good teams use the rules to their advantage.
Yeah.
Michigan is a good football team that took the rules, found the gray, exploited the gray. Those will be sewn up. There's a reason why
Vrabel didn't get investigated for breaking.
There's a reason why there's tax loopholes. There's a reason why there's tax loopholes for all the billionaires.
There's a difference in gray area.
Yeah.
Gray area is something I'm allowed to skirt up to.
You're trying to compete. You want these things to not happen. Yeah. Make them black and white rules.
I got no problem with it. I'm not running the NCAA.
They didn't do anything wrong.
I'm just saying it's a gray area only because they really can't pop you for it, even though there's a rule against it. That's different than you haven't thought. Like, Lanning put 12 on the team on the field last year, and the Big Ten got mad, and he was like, "There's no rule against it."
Genius.
Yes, that's different than what we're talking about here. But you got off because there are rules against illegal scouting. It's just Connor looked at it and said, "How are they ever going to prove this?" Which was smart because they can't.
Right.
Yes.
But Connor, his punishment, what is it, like an 8-year?
Oh yes, which honestly.
He got the punishment.
Who said it? Someone was.
If anybody got punished, he got the punishment.
He did, but I mean, he could go work in the NFL tomorrow. There's a role in the NFL for him tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, it's in Seattle, I bet.
Could be.
I bet you it's in Seattle.
Could be.
Yeah. No, you're right. I do. Yeah. It wasn't.
I just love the two sides of this. I watched this from a distance, and I watched Ohio State claim that anything less than removing the Michigan logo from the sport of college football would be a stain on the veil of the game.
Right.
And then I get on this bus and you say, we did nothing wrong. We did nothing wrong.
Because you got a Michigan side where there's like this arrogance about it. Like they don't say that. They claim that nothing happened. And it's like, hey, you guys can have some awareness and know that something happened, but you got away with it. Like, you guys still won the national title.
Still won the national title.
Can't take it away from you.
Yeah, can't take it away. We did it. It's like, yeah, Connor, was he at the Central Michigan game? Probably. Was he doing those things? Probably. Prove it.
I think I did.
Get it done.
I think Pate State
investigates.
You
really did. You did. I will say, and I know like obviously Ohio State and I have a very interesting relationship, but the fact that Michigan had all these things and get slapped with what they had, but in 2011 or 2010, they get free tattoos and they have bowl bands, wins stripped away from them.
That was my senior year.
They would have won the Natty.
12-0.
They would have won the Natty that year.
Play in the Big Ten championship.
That is the craziest shit. If I'm an Ohio State fan, I'm pissed about it too.
Oh, I'm going to court.
I completely.
I'm going to court.
Right.
I'm getting my wins back.
It's
they
like
took wins
you
from
should be
me.
like, was it UCF that put up their 2023 national championship banner?
Hang the
If I'm
band.
Ohio State, that's what I'm doing. So y'all gonna do shit to Michigan? We won the Natty in 2011 or whatever the year was.
Prove that we didn't.
Yeah, prove we didn't. Exactly.
Yes.
Prove we didn't. Nah, I get it. I understand the whole Michigan thing and people want to hate on it. I think it's funnier than anything else.
I did laugh.
Hey, Ohio State, that does suck. The tattoos.
Dude,
That's bad,
if you're an Ohio
man.
State fan, that is some bullshit.
Yeah.
Whatever, Mitch.
Whatever. And Mitch is an Ohio State fan.
Alleged.
Yeah, he didn't know the D coordinator.
Alleged. But yeah. So you haven't really done a deep dive on Michigan yet. You haven't looked into it.
Not to the degree of like going up there and watching them.
Okay, but you've looked into them. You've looked into their
Enough
ones,
to-
twos, and threes.
Yeah, like I mean,
So if we threw up the schedule here, you'd have a good thought process.
I think I had them at 8-4.
I don't like that.
I took under 8.5. I did take that.
I saw a tweet.
Yeah.
I blocked you. After.
But I feel like it's 2026. I look at this, you're going to feel different, which I would if I were you too. I'm looking at them and saying, it kind of like with the thing we were talking about a second ago with Arch. Anything above 8.5 wins I get this year, great, wonderful. If we go on a run, we go on a run. But I look at the way they're built with Underwood. I am thinking 2026. I'm viewing this entire prism or season through the prism of 2026. So I think they're a year away in a lot of areas. That's what I'm saying. That's what the vibe will
where
be.
Where do you see them falling? Don't say Nebraska, but you see them losing to Oklahoma.
OU.
You're going to pick Nebraska.
Maybe.
Well, if you don't
I look
pick
at them in
Nebraska,
clusters. Like,
it's like
I look at-
USC and who else?
This Washington team sucked on the road last year. That's going to be a sleeper team this year. That's one of the best quarterbacks you'll face this year. Keep scrolling. Michigan State.
USC.
Got him as a sleeper, but I don't have that
Yeah,
one.
USC at USC.
Yeah.
Last year, enough data. Anytime the Big Ten had to travel.
You're going out west, though.
I don't know. That was a classic game last year, man.
Scroll down.
Yeah.
That's, the last one's
And
Ohio
that's
State.
the Ohio State game. I mean, I'd pick Ohio State right now, but I've picked them 4 years in a row, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah, to me, it's like
Doesn't matter.
Ohio State's
Doesn't matter. I'll probably just keep picking them now out of principle.
Yeah, you can't change it because
Yeah.
I need Michigan to keep
Well,
winning.
think about how dumb you look if you picked Ohio State 4 years in a row, and then the year you pick Michigan, it inverts. So
Yeah.
you just got to
Yeah.
stay on one side.
But you look at this; it's not the most
Amen.
difficult schedule in the world.
No, it's not. I just think it's a lot of close games.
I mean, you got Oklahoma, Nebraska are tough games. USC's a tough game.
Yep.
Washington, I think it's a get back year. We got one. They got one. They come to Michigan.
I'm wondering, just a random game on October 4th. Wisconsin, multiple years in under Luke Fickell, I'm shocked they're where they are.
See, I don't know a lot about Wisconsin.
No, you
but
shouldn't. They don't have an identity.
Exactly.
You can't know. That's what I'm talking
People
about.
are kind of saying they're like bad year, tough year coming
Dude,
up.
I took under 5.5 wins on them.
So,
I think they're going to be bad.
So you think October 4th they're just going to sneak up on Michigan?
No, what I'm saying is it shouldn't be what I'm saying.
Right.
Multiple years in under Luke Fickell, like questioning the identity of that team was the last place I thought I would be.
I
But
agree
he
with that.
tried to do something different. He did. People aren't talking about it, but like Lincoln Riley made a bad offensive or a defense coordinator hire when he first took over. Kelly did the same thing at LSU. They have since course corrected. Fickle did that offensively. He hired Phil Longo, and he tried to change what Wisconsin had been for 100 years, and it failed. And now they're trying to course correct, and it's like, but you're doing that 3 years in.
Right.
And that's not what you're supposed to be doing 3 years in. So I'm not saying, no, that's not like an upset potential game. I'm just saying Wisconsin plays the toughest schedule in that league this year. I think they play one team in conference play that has worse odds than them. Every other 8 of the 9 Big Ten games they play are against teams with better odds than them, and they play Bama out of conference on the road in Tuscaloosa. So if they win 5 games this year, what are they doing?
Right. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I was surprised too with Fickle.
Talk
Coming
about
from
this.
Cincinnati.
That's
Sneaky
not that game, but Illinois as a team.
as a team.
USC goes there in like week 5. I think it's like one of the sneak games of the year. Like Southern Cal, if they win that one, they're off to the races. They're undefeated when they play y'all. They got on the road at Notre Dame after that. Like Southern Cal's in the playoff picture if they win that game. If they lose that game, it's probably the first of 3 or 4 losses again.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, USC at Illinois, I don't think the country's going to be talking about that. USC at Illinois and like Texas at Florida are 2 random huge games on the schedule around the same time that people just aren't circling it because they're not typical rivalry games. They don't happen every year. Florida, people aren't used to being a competitor. Illinois, that people are not used for them to be in the picture, and they're both in the picture this year. And it's just those games are there. And you're going to get to that week and you're going to say, whoa, this is a huge game. And yeah, I think it'll make or break USC's season. It could make or break Texas's season when they go into Gainesville. They will have already played Ohio State on the road. They go into Gainesville. They've got OU the next week, and they still got a trip to Georgia later in the year. So Texas has got, it's not the toughest schedule in the league. All their tough ones are on the road, though.
Big boy schedule.
I like it.
For our final question, our Bud Light. What's up?
I just had one more before you do Bud Light question.
Go ahead.
Any relation to Brock Bowers?
DNA wise, I don't think so. However, there's more to that than just blood.
Yeah.
And so I feel a lot closer to Brock now than I did 2-3 weeks ago. And you both got hair. You wouldn't understand it. Side note, my beautiful wife, piece of advice walking out the door this morning. This came out of her mouth. I kid you not. She goes, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to do the Bussin' show." She said, "Don't try and upstage them. They have mustaches." I just looked at her like I'm looking at you.
Now, did that make you think I should grow a mustache?
It made me think you've never mentioned facial hair to me in my life. I didn't know that you were harboring this idea that like you're inferior if you're not walking around with it. But now it's not, "I love you, I'll see you later. Like, do you want me to cook tonight?" It's, "Don't try and upstage them. They have mustaches." So for Brock Bowers to be coming to me instead of, me going towards Brock, it feels good.
Yeah.
Welcome.
You kind of open up a can of worms with the mustache thing, though. I kind of want to see you with a mustache.
I do too. No, I want to see like.
What's it look like? No Shave November.
You ever seen?
What are you looking like?
You ever seen Joe Dirt?
Yeah.
Okay, so Joe Dirt, when he went on the radio show, the guy sat across from him and he said, "Wait a second, you're telling me your facial hair actually grows in on its own all white trashy like that?" He goes, "Yeah, that's kind of what's happening. It's a white trashy look. It's blonde.
I think I need
It's
it.
not great.
It's blonde.
It's not great. So I just have never let it happen.
I think we need it in November.
We need the mustache starting now.
I can't tell you how important the charity would have to be to me for me to participate.
What's your number?
I'm going to write it down for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Off air. I want to
Off
write it
air.
down for you. Yeah.
And then I'll show that on the locker room this week.
Yeah, it's 8 figures.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. No,
Okay. Never mind. Well, a little blonde mustache just for men, CVS, bing, bing, bing. Make that thing darker.
Yeah. Every road you're going down, hypothetical, I've already gone down it.
Fair enough.
We'll figure out a
Bud Light
future. We'll
question.
figure out a future that he puts in on it. If he loses it,
Yeah.
Look at that.
I'm be honest with you. One thing with the locker room, you're going to find out there's always these bets, and it always involves losing the top of your hair or facial hair.
Yeah.
Something happens, and it's
he
always
just,
JP.
he nails that right before he
Yeah.
even
I'm
starts.
done. Me and Brock Bowers, we're good. You bet something else for us.
Bud Light question. You know how people would do anything for an ice cold Bud Light. What is something that Josh Pate would do anything for?
I would love to be able to go to pre-technological times and be able to watch like surveillance camera footage of stuff before cameras existed. You could watch dinosaurs. You could watch like the Declaration of Independence get signed. Like we live in a world now where anything that happened in the last, like 75 to 100 years, you've got photos of. I've seen the Kennedy assassination. I've seen the moon landing. I think I have. I've seen the Challenger explosion, like all the big stuff. 9/11, like there's footage of that. You have to imagine what it looked like when the first white settlers came to America. What America looked like before that. What did it look like I said, when dinosaurs roamed the earth? You just get to watch cartoons of that, or you watch like recreations of it, but you don't get to actually see what it looked like. There could have been a stegosaurus where this bus is right now. On a Tuesday afternoon, I don't think they knew it was Tuesday, but like you're watching that stuff in prehistoric times, but you're actually getting to see it. If you could deliver that to me, that's what I would do a lot for.
You do anything for.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
He said I would.
Because what would you dial up? Like I go to dinosaurs.
Yeah, you had me on dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I probably want to see that meteor impact or figure out what really happened there, right? That we decided is the meteor. Have we figured that out?
Look, I'm not 100% on it.
I'm not 100% on most things.
This is how we find out.
Yeah.
And then the bad part is you come back to the future and you try and convince people they don't believe you.
Right.
Could we get the Last Supper like live stream?
Here's another one too. You kind of had conspiracies. Have you heard the conspiracy of like the Nazis fleeing to South America?
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Like, where was Hitler at in his little bunker? Did he dip or did he take that pill?
So much stuff.
I know.
There's so much stuff about history.
Pyramids, yeah.
Pyramids, yeah. That's a good one. Just.
Also.
Time lapse of it being built.
Yeah.
I bet you it's like a blink. Stonehenge.
Also,
when the last Bigfoot walked the earth.
Amelia
if there
Earhart.
was one?
Amelia Earhart.
The moment before impact.
So I heard they might have found her plane in Antarctica.
Yeah, but they say that like every 2 years.
Yeah, but this is the most recent
this is
one.
the real one?
I'm just delivering you a message that I've seen with my own eyes on the Instagram. But like they found a plane that was like buried into around the same year into a cliffside in Antarctica.
See, I heard some rumors that some terrible stuff could have happened to them when they crashed. Just internet rumor.
Like talking about
internet lore.
Yeah,
like deserted island they float upon, or
like maybe,
sharks.
Maybe don't die when you land, but maybe some people find you. You know, that kind of stuff. I don't know. I wasn't there. Like I said, I don't have the footage.
Right, and
that's not that long ago. It just so happened we didn't have cameras over the ocean, so we didn't see that.
Yeah.
But if we go back to like 1300. Go back to the Dark Ages, something like that in the
Roman Empire.
You get to see the entire Roman Empire.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. So
just Marcus Aurelius dropping pods for us weekly.
Yeah, man. What would be the one place you'd start at dinosaurs?
I think I would start at dinosaurs, yeah, and then I would just start going famous moments throughout history.
Why not
big
just
dinosaur guy?
How are you not fascinated?
You seen the newest Jurassic World?
I haven't.
Oh,
this gets me to another thing. So
you're a big dinosaur guy.
No, I'm a big dinosaur guy. I'm a big storm chasing guy too. I would love to go back before meteorological records existed, because like severe weather, huge hurricanes, huge droughts, huge snowstorms were happening forever, as long as the earth has been here. So I always think about like Nashville, Tennessee. All right, if you want to go and check out the biggest one-day snowfall, you could do that, but the records only go back like 100 years. So who's to say in January of 1483 there wasn't a 3-foot snowfall where we're sitting right now? Or who's to say there wasn't the equivalent of an EF5 tornado that came through?
Yeah.
Who's to say there wasn't like the strongest Cat 5 hurricane in history making landfall in Biloxi, Mississippi? That's a little more nerdish. Not as many people would be into that, but I'm into that.
I love throughout this podcast how many random cities and states you say.
Yeah, you got to drop them.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun
It's a nationwide show.
Chasing tornadoes.
Awesome.
How many have you chased? Countless?
I'm at 13.
You're at 13.
I've seen 13.
Can your 14th be with the boys?
I've already spoken to someone about making this happen.
Really? Okay, good. Because I think that would be
this could be a fun
such an elite collaboration.
The boys.
Yes. So imagine us in Oklahoma. They're still mourning the loss to Michigan in week 2, and we just
we're back.
We're back.
How real is the ambition for college football commissioner?
It's real. I take it tomorrow. I'm equipped. I'm qualified. It's probably why I won't get the job. But I got really good ideas.
What are 3 ideas you would implement right out of the gate? Your first 90.
First thing is so all these people talking about private equity, I would try and harness private equity to compensate for all the money grabs. Let me give you an example. Georgia Tech plays Georgia every year. Georgia Tech is moving their home game against Georgia to Mercedes-Benz Stadium this year because they can get $12 million more out of it. You're taking away a home field rivalry moment for the sake of more money because you need it because you're in a new era. So I would love to get private money, and I would love to funnel it and say, Georgia Tech, keep your game at home. We'll subsidize it. I would love to harness private money that way, private equity money that way. Second thing I would love to do is basically take control of conferences from a media rights perspective. And I would love to have a college football media rights deal instead of the SEC having their own, the Big Ten having their own. I would love for it to look like the NFL. Broadcast rights deal of 1961 would have to be addressed here, but I mean, I would be in the president's back pocket. So I get this taken care of. This is a MAGA podcast. We can talk about that.
Oh,
so I would love, because first off, what happens right now is like Fox has very little incentive to talk about the SEC. The ESPN has very little incentive to just talk about the Big Ten because they're not in business with each other a whole lot, which is very stupid because in the aggregate, the game doesn't scale. Also, the playoff contract, one network owns it instead of NBC, CBS, Fox all having a piece of it, which means there's very little incentive for them to promote the playoff and promote the game moving towards the playoff because they don't have a cut of it. So I would do away with that. And I would also love to reconfigure things where conferences made sense, to where Stanford is not playing a conference game at Wake Forest just for the sake of someone that you and me will never meet, cash in a few more zeros on a paycheck. I would love for that to not matter anymore. I would also, even in a pure dictatorship, like if I'm the commissioner and everything I say goes, if I'm a king of college football, I would have so many things that are popular vote decided. I would take my authority and I would say, I'm putting it to the side. We're deciding this by popular vote. I would just hold a national vote. Just pure democracy on some things.
I love it. What about the playoff?
And the whole promotional thing too. It's like, when was it last year? Was it like New Year's? Was it New Year's where it just felt like no one even knew that, or was it the national championship?
It was both. It was both. I would also love to work with the NFL. Look, man, the NFL benefits a lot from college football. From a marketing and development perspective, the NFL gets ready-made assets handed to them on draft night that have been developed on college football's dime. NFL hasn't had to pay a dime for the development piece, and they have been marketed on college football's dime to where when you draft Taylor Lewan, I know about him because he played at Michigan. I know about him because I watched him start at left tackle for all these years. You drafted him, but I already know who he is. So you don't have to tell me who he is, and you don't have to develop him to the degree that you have to in college. The NFL never has to fit the bill for that. And yet when it comes time to decide the broadcast schedule, that's the one area where I really wish the NFL would work with college a little bit to make sure like college football's postseason is in a good spot. And instead it feels like you have to fight the NFL on every bit of that. So that's probably because people running college football have no clue how to work with the NFL. I think I'd do a better job working with the NFL.
I love it. Start the playoffs right after championship week?
I think so.
Yeah, have to.
Yeah, I think so.
Keep it moving.
I think so.
That gap of 28, 30 days is
not
crazy.
needed.
Crazy.
Not needed.
Yeah. We got to roll.
Yeah, we
This
do.
is the end of the podcast.
2018 playoff?
No.
Go above 12?
I'd leave it. Dude, I'd go smaller than 12, but I'm keeping it at 12. I think they just poison pilled you. They just put an Overton window kind of mechanism out there. It's like if I'm telling you, Will, we're going vacation, and you say, where are we going? I'm saying, we're going to St. Louis for an entire week. You say, why can't we go to the Caribbean? Like, why can't we go to a beach somewhere? And I say, all right, we're going to Russia. You say, no. And I say, all right, St. Louis then? Okay, well, all of a sudden you're fine with St. Louis. The Big Ten wants the 16-team playoff. Not many people want it. So their marketing and PR folks just said, they're stupid. Just float a 28-team proposal out there. They'll hate that so much, all of a sudden 16 won't sound so bad.
Ooh,
that's all they're doing. That's all they're doing.
Inside ball, Illuminati type shit.
I don't like the bye weeks.
I actually don't either.
I don't like the bye weeks. So I feel like it would be 16, or if you go below 12, 8.
I don't like having at-larges if you're going to have the play-in Saturday. Like the whole conference play-in Saturday. If you're having those play-in games, I love them. I don't want a safety net under it. I don't want you to be a 4 seed who loses but knows, I can get in anyway. Like if you're going to have play-in games at the conference level, they need to really be do-or-die play-in games. So however we configure it, I hope it's configured that way.
You.
Yes.
The commissioner.
Yes. With voters.
Yes.
Helping, yeah.
We'll help you out. We'll be a board.
I didn't say every vote counts the same. Super votes.
There we go.
Super delegates. Yeah.
Super duper votes.
Yeah, that's right. Because we do have this.
That's right.
We're part of the supremacy.
That's
which
right.
I don't know if that's safe to say at this point.
No,
in the
it's
podcast.
not. You can't.
Just three white guys up here. We are part of the supremacy.
Yeah.
Josh Pate, it's going to be a hell of a year, hell of a season.
Gonna
Thank
be
you
a
for
big
coming
one.
on Bussin' with the Boys.
you.
Pleasure.
The locker room drops Wednesday night. Subscribe. Big hugs, tiny kisses. We love you.
Love you. Photo?